Hello, I'm here with MuensterCheese, and we are going to be commentating a League F match, Mort versus Iras42. And that should be starting pretty soon.
Yep.
When Mort kick the bot.
Technical difficulties, it seems.
Okay, but looks like everything is good now.
So in the standings, Mort has 2.5 more wins than Iris, but Iris has an extra match to play.
Yeah, so it looks like this match is kind of competing for second place, but I guess it's possible that with very good performance here, Iris could beat out Voice of the Wind to get first in the division. Okay. Looks like we should be starting soon.
All right.
Okay.
Two projects.
Two very interesting projects, too. So capitalism has a couple of decent targets. Count is a good target for capitalism, I guess. Let's see, we have rats, but I guess you can do forge rats. So sheepdog looks pretty strong. Yeah, you can activate sheepdog with square or groom or rats or count if you really wanted. I guess you could do the copper gain trigger sheepdog if you really want. So yeah, what do you think? What are you looking here?
All right, so you've got Squire if you need a village. Then Spice Merchant could be useful here.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I do think I want to play with rats, but yeah, Spice Merchant's probably still going to be good. Honestly, the Forge Rats thing looks pretty good. Like, just get a ton of rats and then just forge them into provinces. Although you
Yep.
can't really get Canal if you're doing that, because Canal will break that completely.
Well, you can always forge rats with horse if you have canal. Because horse with the 3.
Well, yeah, I guess, but yeah, I mean the idea is to be forging the rats into provinces. So yeah, I mean you could open like rats sheepdog maybe, or maybe just get the spice merchant first and get the rats later, because you want to actually like hit 7 for forge at some point. So I guess count might be useful for that. I don't know. Royal blacksmith is if you're playing with rats and you're killing all your coppers. Royal blacksmith would be good to draw. I think. Okay.
Yeah, get a lot of draw and
Oh, I
there's
remember the 2/5. So yeah, you take squire count, and I guess you can use squire's trash effect to get a taxman if you really want. But that doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
I think you should probably just be getting buys and actions from Squire.
Yeah. So sheepdog groom Mort opens. That looks fine. I assume Iris will take the count. Um, like the count seems pretty useful for thinning and also for being able to spike.
Yep,
But
there it is.
yeah, okay. So Mort has the groom and sheepdog together, which is great. I might be grooming a spice merchant.
Yeah, so you can thin a bit and get rid of your coppers.
Yeah. So do you ever bother with capitalism? It's like I guess one cool thing about it is if you have capitalism, you can groom, squire, and get the horse and the silver. If you even want that, though, I'm not sure that you really want a bunch of silvers.
Yeah, I think yeah, you have squire. Squire and count. You can play in the buy phase then, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to be that handy probably to be playing a bunch of counts. Like I wouldn't want a lot of counts. Squire can give you actions anyway. So it's like only if you want a bunch of silvers or a bunch of buys. And then Spice Merchant also can give you an extra action. So I don't really see the need for capitalism here.
yeah, and
What are they doing? Yeah. Um,
Iris gets a sheepdog, so then it can get the combo with like count or squire.
okay, so yeah, I feel like I'm not sure that Mort getting a second groom so early was. Did he get a? He just got a third groom. What's he doing? Uh,
That's a lot of grooms.
yeah, so I guess I mean, what do you want to do with the grooms? Like you're not gonna like rush out estates. I guess you could get. I guess maybe it's the idea to get a ton of grooms and a ton of sheepdogs, and then you can like trigger the sheepdogs. I mean, I guess like in theory that would give you a ton of pile control, and you could like if you had a lot of grooms, you could maybe like run through all the estates in one turn if you were ahead and got the opportunity. Um, but otherwise, like I would rather be trying to spike, count, and forge, and
All right, so
maybe canal, but I don't even think. Yeah, I guess okay. I guess maybe what he's trying to do is maybe he's trying to get canal and then use groom to rush out the duchies. That's actually interesting. But if you were trying to do that, I would prefer to actually get canal before getting all the grooms because that's actually a really interesting strategy. Because groom is really good with any VP card other than a state that it can gain. So if it can gain duchies, I mean, I think that rush would be like very powerful. If you could
yeah,
actually get to canal is the only thing.
and if you have sheepdogs, you can also draw the rest of your grooms more consistently.
Yeah, that actually looks like a pretty strong deck, but you have to get canal before it gets going. Um, so if I were trying to do that deck, I would go try and get an early count, use it to try to spike 7 for canal, and then just rush out grooms and duchies and
All
sheepdog.
right, so more grooms for a groom.
So he's definitely going for the rush. I assume he's going for the duchy rush because otherwise, how are you going to score it all with all those grooms? But I guess the question is just how are you going to hit 7 now? Um, it's a really cool strategy though. Like kudos to him for thinking of that, assuming that's what he's going for. Um, so meanwhile, Iris is just playing a more conventional kind of thing. Like it's just got the count, is using it to thin. It's got I think like one groom, a squire, a sheepdog or two.
Yeah, so if more if Mort keeps going with this, I feel like Mort has an advantage because the
Um,
other guy might take longer to get set up.
yeah. So I mean, uh nobody has nobody has touched the rats yet. I do think Forge Rats is like a pretty powerful combo. Um, but that doesn't mean that it's like something you have to go for. Like, I guess the alternative is you try to build just like a regular, like a normal engine with Squire for your village and Royal Blacksmith for your draw, which is like fine, but because you can use rats to like get rid of all the coppers really easily. But I think if you do that conventional engine, you're still going to be forging rats into provinces. Like, I think that's going to be an endgame plan and like the normal engine besides. So let's see where they go with it. Um,
Yeah, Iris just
kind
gained a
of
couple of
adding,
sheepdogs.
yeah, they're just kind of adding more like small cards, which I mean it doesn't feel that great to me to keep adding like sheepdogs and more grooms and more squires and stuff. Like that's just I mean you're just kind of lowering piles. Grooms in a state, but oh, was he thinking it would? Yeah, I was gonna say, was he thinking he would be able to get rid of his hovel, um, by getting an estate? Yeah, that's an understandable error. Yeah, that would be a cool combo to groom estate, trash hovel if that actually worked. But alas.
Yeah, that's information from the
It's not information because
or
uh,
not yet.
he was still prompted to react with sheepdog. Having the sheepdog in hand saved him from having an information undo. And now he's got to explain it. I mean, I can see his hand, I can see what happened, but obviously Iris can't. I would grant it anyway, honestly, even if he did draw, because if it's obviously a mistake, like it doesn't really matter. Um,
Explanation in chat.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty liberal with undos because like if someone obviously made like an error or didn't understand how something worked, um, like it doesn't matter that they saw something else. They were gonna they were gonna do the undo no matter what they saw. So yeah, I mean I guess like it could affect their future decision, but like come on, someone makes a mistake, let them fix it. So okay, um, but what are you gonna groom here? Like
Maybe another spice merchant.
maybe, um, I mean, or maybe just a silver, but like that's kind of that still doesn't make it that likely. Like I assume that Mort's game plan is to be trying to hit Canal, but like it just seems so hard to do at this point. Um, yeah, I guess maybe a silver, because the silvers don't really hurt that much in the rush because they increase your chances of just being able to buy duchy after grooming a bunch. Okay, he's just going for the grooms. Okay, this should probably be a count, I think, because okay,
Yep,
yeah,
there it
it's a count.
is.
So hopefully now Mort will be able to hit 7. And I think if Mort does hit 7 on the next shuffle, he's in really good shape because he'll just like destroy the duchy pile, probably destroy the groom pile and the sheepdog pile, and it doesn't look like Iris's deck is going to go anywhere yet.
Yeah, like just looking at the hands, feels like more has a deck that's coming together quicker.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still kind of surprised that neither of them wanted to play with rats because rats are a lot less annoying with sheepdog. Um, because you get to react to the sheepdog before you have to trash a card, so you're more likely to actually have something you want to trash. And then obviously forge to turn the rats into provinces and then win. Um, and Iris is still lowering the piles. So let's see if Mort can actually get to the. Oh, he's close. He's got 6. The sheepdog draws like anything. Yeah. I would just. I guess you could play the square to gain a silver, but I would rather just probably play the sheepdog here. Okay, yeah. So he can get Canal now. Let's see if he does. I mean, that's far and away the right move at this point, I think. Um, like, yeah, if you wanted to play with Forge, you should have just been getting rats instead of grooming all this stuff. So
Alright, so Mort decides to get extra buys.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't
Or
care.
yeah,
Inspire. It's just like did you want the silver or not?
unless you like buy 2 grooms.
Well, yeah, but like you should be buying Canal here. Like that's almost certainly the right buy. I mean, maybe he was never planning to do the duchy rush in the first place. But if that is the case, then I mean, I don't think that many grooms would be useful. Yeah, I guess the only other buy that I would like understand here at all is Forge. Okay, he
Right there,
see the canal.
and
So
then the
yeah,
price reduced squire.
now you just start slamming the duchies and then slamming the other piles like the grooms and sheepdogs. Yeah, I mean, Mort looks like he's in really good shape here. Um, Iris could take Canal too. Um, but it's gonna be a lot less useful for them.
It's just lowering piles
Yeah,
even more.
yeah, I don't agree with that. Maybe they don't realize the danger. Because like if you haven't played against a Groom Rush before, like the normal Groom Rushes are like Silk Road, um, and and like if you haven't even seen one of those, then you really have no chance of seeing the Duchy Rush. Even like Groom Cemetery, I think is a thing. So let's see. I guess Iris chooses not to take the canal, which I mean, what do you take at this point? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not even sure what kind of deck Iris is trying to build. Like, maybe you take the Royal Blacksmith, but like, you're just gonna be so slow. Groom the duchies. Just start going for it. Mort, I think. You just groom the duchies.
Yeah, because you can finish off the duchies in a couple turns, and then it's just a few more gains for groom and sheepdog.
Yeah, just like slam the duchies, and then you should be able to be buying like sheepdog and groom in the meantime.
Yeah, because you've got enough money with silvers and
Yeah,
stuff, and you have plus buys on squire. And it's +2.
yeah. Mort looks one here if he knows to start. So he doesn't go for the duchy.
Alright, well now it's
I
just
guess maybe his plan is to lower like empty grooms and sheepdogs and then hit the duchies. That seems worse to me though because you can be buying grooms and sheepdogs while you're grooming duchies. And because obviously grooming duchy is a cantrip and helps you move through your deck faster anyway. Um, Iris has a really good turn here. Wow.
oh
That was
nice.
slick. You only had to take one estate for it. Um, this, there's no way Iris could win here, could they? I don't think they have the gains for that.
That's a lot of gains, and Mort has the majority of the grooms.
Yeah. Um,
Iris might be able to get ahead enough that
I mean, I think Iris has to start trying to score at this point. Like, I mean, maybe you take. I'm not sure if you take province duchy here, but you might just want to take a province.
or you might even take duchy if you can, because then there's less to gain for Mort.
Well, yeah, but on the other hand, that also speeds up Mort's pile out. So if you start taking duchies, then it will be easier for Mort to empty them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that. I think Iris's goal here should be to try and hope for having a couple of good sheepdog turns like this. And they do have a lot of sheepdog enablers. Like Count can do it, although not non-terminally. Squire can also do it, although not non-terminally. Groom is the best for it. Yeah, I think Iris's goal is just to score as much as possible here. Yeah, you could have a great count trash here, but it's just I think too late for that to matter. Um, yeah, I mean they might be considering the count trash, but lowering more.
Really, Mort can possibly even win next turn if they get lucky draws.
Uh, just maybe if you get really lucky draws, because you'd have to see like all your grooms. Okay, top decks of silver takes the +3 and buys a province. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Yeah, I mean I don't like the grooming the groom, but taking the province I think was right. So this is the point where Mort should definitely just hit the duchies, like groom duchy, hope you draw something. Wow, really? What? Hmm. Gets +3. Huh.
That's interesting.
Why is it? Okay. Um.
And draws it the very next
I mean,
turn.
that was a beautiful hand you just drew into, but like, I can't. I. Um. I can only assume that he doesn't like see the Dutch US or realize that it's that powerful. Like, but I don't. Why would you get all those grooms if you're trying to build a deck drawing engine? Like, you're never going to draw your deck. The odds of even drawing it with a squire were like fairly low, and he got kind of lucky there. Um. Okay, so is this where Iris grooms another estate to keep the turn going? I think you do groom the estate to keep the turn going here. Because like at this point, the speed is kind of important. Although it's less important because
Oh,
Mort doesn't seem to be rushing. Oh, that was a sad draw.
and groom emptying the groom pile. So now
Oh yeah, and emptied the. Okay, well, uh,
the thing is, Iris is ahead, so they can
well,
have the pile split.
Iris is ahead for now. But like, if Mort wanted to get 3 duchies on his next turn, like I'm assuming he drew into enough grooms. Like, what is the groom split even? I think is it 6 for Mort? I haven't been counting it carefully. But Mort got a bunch, but then Iris
Yeah,
got the last
I
bit.
think 6-4.
Yeah, I want to say it's 6 for Mort. So I mean, Mort's odds of drawing into. See, yeah, I mean, Mort could get 3 duchies here, at least, possibly more depending on draws. Like you certainly should be grooming a duchy, reacting with
All right,
sheepdog.
and Iris even lowered the squire pile. So
Whoa. Okay, that's dangerous.
if Mort
Well, I
doesn't,
don't know. Actually, maybe Mort's looking to win. Um,
but if Mort doesn't successfully
groom duchy.
score enough,
Okay, groom
or
duchy react with sheepdog. Ooh, okay. Is this take 2 actions? Does this win?
so you can gain 2 more
Yeah,
duchies.
gain 2 duchies, or gain a duchy. Your action limited is the thing. Yeah, I think you gain duchy here and hope to draw another squire. Although I'm not sure how many more squires he has. Um,
if you draw another squire,
then it should
then
be a win.
buys and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you gain the duchy here. Because you can get another duchy with count. Um, basically at no cost, because if you're ending the game, it doesn't matter that you tap deck something bad. Um, if Mort did try to empty duchies, you could get 1, 2, 3. Okay, now groom another duchy. Right? Or just... No, you think you groom a squire here. Um, because if the sheepdog doesn't draw you anything, you can still get like several more duchies and make it so there's no way Iris can pile out and win. Um,
yeah, because you have the duchy gain and count.
yeah, so the goal here is I think you groom squire, and then if you find another squire, you just play it for actions. Okay,
Oh, nice.
this is a win, right? You play squire for actions, you groom squire, you count gain duchy, and then you buy squire, yeah. And I think he sees it.
Nice.
So, yeah. Well played by Mort there. I think the the canal, you should have aimed for the canal earlier, and you should have rushed duchies more aggressively. But like it was a good strategy. Um, Iris just seemed to be trying something that like never really came together. Oh, the grooms were 5-5 actually. So, but I mean that was because Iris was lowering the grooms. Like I
Late in
was
the
lowered
game.
piles without really like a plan for like winning. Like it looked like Iris's plan was just get a bunch of cards and then hope to draw into like enough to buy a province, which is like not always a bad strategy, but when
I think
when there's more attractive things like forging rats, which nobody even touched, or just the Groom Duchy Rush. Okay, so you want to give your thoughts first this time?
alright, so I mean we've got a bunch of trashing, like junk dealer who can so I don't know, do you wanna just play money here because there aren't villages, so
Yeah, so
except Necropolis, so you have two terminal
yeah, that's
space.
true. You do have the Necro. So trying to get in 2 torturer plays every turn looks like it might be worth it. Um, well, I don't know, maybe not, because there is junk dealer, so you can deal with the curses. Like you certainly want at least one junk dealer, probably two, I would think. In fact, it might even it's probably worth it to just play the cursed gold and take a junk dealer as
Because you can just use the junk dealer to trash the curse.
yeah, because
Um,
junk dealer is just it's a very good early game. Okay, it looks like they both agree with me there. Yeah, I mean I like that play because like at the very least you're gonna break even because the junk dealer is gonna trash one piece of junk, and you had to gain one piece of junk in order to get it. So it's like at the very least it's a break even, but junk dealer also helps your economy because it's a peddler. So um, and then
so
stage.
Iris gets a sage,
Um,
and that would draw into either cursed gold or junk dealer
I
at
see
this
what the
point.
idea behind the sage might be, because sage seer actually looks like a pretty cool combo. Um, like seer likes anything in its 2 to 4 range that it can draw. And especially like cantrips, because then you can, draw all the junk that it leaves back on top, or the other seers. Um, But with Sage, what you can do is you can play Seer. It will find your Sages. You can put all your coppers and like other stuff back on top, and the Sage will skip over those. So that seems pretty cool. I'm not sure that that's better than just going for Scrying Pool, because Scrying Pool is a really good card.
Yeah, and you do have plus buy in Baron.
Yeah, if you wanna, well, okay, but Baron with shelters.
Yeah,
You have to
you
buy
don't have
Baron to
estates.
gain one. Although at least the estate is something Seer will find, so Scrying Pool would not be a fan of the Baron, but Seer might not mind it.
And
So yeah, I mean,
I,
it's like
I don't know if Shrine Pool is worth it here. Probably not, because
because you have Seer, yeah, maybe. I mean, okay, the other alternative for drawing is Storyteller. This doesn't look like a great board for Storyteller to me because there's not an easy way to get treasures. Like, yeah, you'd have to be buying. I guess you could maybe use Raid. That's kind of weird. Um, use Storyteller for draw and Raid to get a bunch of silvers. But I don't know. Like, I think just Scrying Pool is just a good card, and Seer and Sage is a good combo. Um,
yeah. So trash down with Junk Dealer, get Shrine Pool.
yeah,
So
that's
one of
one way
them
to do
got a
it.
potion. One of them got a potion. That
So
was
Iris has the potion. Yeah, we should be watching what they're doing now. So, um, Iris has got the. They both have a second junk dealer, right? Yeah, they both got the second junk dealer. I agree with that. They're mostly just cleaning up their crap at this point. Oh, they both have used the curse gold twice. Yeah, I guess that's probably reasonable because they used it to get junk dealers.
and then you just trash the curses.
So yeah, now that I'm realizing, like that it's not that bad to play cursed gold here. Torturer as your terminal looks a lot worse because the main reason you'd be getting Torturer is for the attack, but the attack doesn't really hurt that badly. Especially later in the game when they're actually running out of stuff to feed to junk dealer, it might help to give them junk dealer food in the curse.
Yeah.
So
Also, like you might keep the cursed gold around for that reason.
to get
Like,
curses, yeah, maybe. And I mean, once the curses run out, cursed gold is just a regular gold. So, yeah. So I guess torture is like not super important here. So what are your terminals going to be then? Maybe you do go for the Baron. Just
yeah, like
buy.
what's the economy here?
I mean,
Because
treasures like.
there's not strong payload
Okay,
cards.
yeah. So that also pushes towards Seer because Seer can get you can draw your silvers, and Scrying Pool doesn't like any treasures at all. Um, so yeah, I think I probably on the whole I probably would skip Scrying Pool here. Um, but it's oh wow, that was a nice draw for Mort. Um, drew into both of the curses. Um, oh, it goes
Alright,
for
so
Storyteller. Interesting.
Iris has a Puka and Mort has a Storyteller.
Yeah, I mean Puka just seems like it's. I mean, you have to line it up with the Necropolis for it to do anything. So I'm not really a fan of the Puka. I think
The thing I'm confused with is
there's better
neither player got Seer.
yet. I mean, it's only turn 6. I mean, Seer is like a great card.
But like, is the Storyteller better? I don't think so.
Um, I mean, I guess the idea is there's not much that the Seer can draw right now. Um, like it can find Curse Gold. It can find the Sage that Iris has. It can find which of them has the Scavenger? It can find the Scavenger that Mort has.
And the
Other than that, it can
potion.
find one of them as a silver. Um, Mort has a silver, but other than that, there is not a lot it can find yet. So, um,
Alright, so Iris draws the potion, so
yeah, I
they
do
can get
think Mort
Scrying
to
Pool.
the idea of getting a bunch of seers and a bunch of sages and a baron and an estate for your terminal. Um, and then the seer and sage is like pretty pretty nice combo. I mean, you can't skip over like provinces that way, but you can skip over coppers and the shelters that you haven't gotten rid of yet. So I think that's probably the way I would go here. Is just add the baron like not that early, but at the point where it will start helping me do things like buy sage and seer, or vagrant also. Actually, vagrant will be more helpful later on too, because Vagrant can clear out your provinces. Like when
Yep,
you start
because
greening, Seer draws Vagrant. You set up a province to be second from the top, and then Vagrant will draw it. Um, so that's actually a good combo too. So yeah, I think that's probably the kind of deck I would be going for here. Let's see what. So okay, Iris has a nice draw here with the Puka and the Necropolis lining up.
or you can
So
also
there's
trash
yeah, so there's
trash the shelters.
um, oh yeah, and why do you have Sage and Scrying Pool? Like I guess Scrying Pool will find Sage, but Sage won't find Scrying Pool. And yeah, I mean Seer and Scrying Pool also don't get along because Seer doesn't find Scrying Pool either. So like
The thing is, the scrying pool does draw multiple cards if
what's
you have
here?
few treasures.
I think Scrying Pool just like anti synergizes with like every other card on this board. Um,
Because they encourage treasures and victory.
yeah, like yeah, like Sage doesn't care as much about junk. Vagrant doesn't care as much about junk. Seer can draw like silvers and stuff, and you're gonna need treasures. Like
Yeah, like Iris buys a gold.
yeah, I mean you're gonna need treasures. I don't think it's realistic to build to double province, but it's realistic to build to province plus something else probably. Like be able to buy like a province and a sage or something consistently would be nice.
So more copies the gold buy, and now Iris just has a treasure draw.
I mean,
Another
the
shrine
gold.
pool.
I mean, the gold buy makes a lot more sense for Mort because he has the storyteller. Um, like that gold is actually like a double lab if you line it up. So it looks like they're both just doing like sort of money-ish things, like a single storyteller and like two scrying pools is like does not an engine make. But I mean, maybe Mort's deck is good enough to start provincing, like especially with Battlefield. Like maybe you can just take a province now and then use the junk dealers to thin out the rest of the stuff. Um, like maybe that's viable.
Yeah, and like this is a more of a money-ish board. It's like there's no gains.
Well, there's Baron, which is plus buy. Like there's if you really want the extra gain from Baron, like you can do it. It just is a lot of overhead because you have to take the estate too, and then you have to draw it and the estate together. But it might be worth it, given that Seer can draw both the Baron and the estate. And I would be trying to build a Seer stack probably. I think that's what I would be doing here. So
Seer's been so far untouched.
yeah, okay. So Mort just took another gold. So looks like Mort is doing like mostly money, which is I mean it's a reasonable idea here.
Money draw. I mean, it works. You get provinces and
I mean, this has to be a province buyer, else why did you play the cursed gold? Well, I guess they could be considering undoing the cursed gold play. I mean, I wouldn't probably get provinces Iris here. Um, I would get some kind of draw card that isn't scrying pool. Like maybe at that point you just take the storyteller because Seer isn't going to be that useful. So we'll see. Mort can't province here. Can't really do much without playing the Curse Gold. Um,
I mean, a sage would not hurt, would it? Like,
yeah, Sage wouldn't be bad. Um, I mean, Vagrant also wouldn't be bad. Like, but you can't really add something that helps you that much here.
yeah, Mort's not going for Shrine Pool, I think, is a good decision. Because there's not much that makes Shrine Pool good here.
I mean, other than the fact that it's just good in general. Like,
Yeah. There's not other, like, enablers, like,
but there
you have strong trashing.
are. So I assume. Oh, jeez. So I assume that Mort is trying to think about whether or not it's worth it to play the Curse Gold. I guess not. Yeah, I kind of agree with the decision not to play it. Like, there's nothing for 5 or more you could buy that would be that compelling. Okay, that was a nice scrying pool draw.
Yep, now you've got Necropolis and Puka. And I'd trash the potion here.
Trash. Actually, I mean, I guess the thing is like, potion cost cards are better with plus buy because you can buy the potion cost card in something else. So if Iris isn't going to get a Baron, then yeah, I guess they probably should lose the potion because you should be trying to either add payload or score each turn now. I don't know how much money total is in Iris's deck, but that you have to also take into account that the junk dealers stop giving you money once you stop being able to play them. And I guess the Curse Gold actually, at this point for Iris, you might want to be. I don't know how much crap is in their discard pile. Not a lot, right? It's just the copper. So Iris, I think, is actually super thin.
So
Yeah, maybe.
drawing deck. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess they don't. The problem is that Iris can only draw that much with either like a really lucky scrying pool hit or being able to line up Necropolis and Puka with a treasure. Like, if you
Yeah,
can't line it up. So I guess yeah, if you're able to kill the potion to draw with Puka, like yeah, you should definitely do that this turn as Iris, but you just might not be able to. And then otherwise your draw is like pretty inconsistent in that it's just 2 scrying pulls and it's hard for you to add more. So Mort has just like a more normal money deck, which seems more robust at this point.
tragic.
This is this is horrible for Iris now. Like you can't do anything. You can't even buy another pool now. Like, and I'm not sure that you want to play the like. I mean, playing the Cursed Gold again is like wishful thinking. They're doing it to buy what, a Vagrant? And the Vagrant will be helpful, but like, if you have a deck where Vagrant is helpful, you would probably just have rather had a better deck instead. This is also not great. Yeah, I think Mort feels ahead because
Yep,
Iris's deck control is really like shaky and dependent on their cards lining up in the right way. Okay, but this looks good, I guess. Oh, I don't know. Finds the curse. Discard this copper and see what you top deck.
just get lucky. Yeah, Iris is quite inconsistent right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, so they did make it to 8. Um, And Mort, well, maybe Mort won't. We'll see. You can probably lose a scavenger here, I think. Oh, that's kind of sad. Um, to see the 7, but you can take Duchy here. Yeah, kill the scavenger. Play the scavenger, set something nice up, like Pledge the Gold for your next turn. And then take a Duchy, I think. And get the rest of the battlefield points. Yeah, okay, so... I mean, I guess if Iris can province 2 turns in a row, but... Oh yeah, see, that really hurts not finding the Necropolis there.
Yeah. Because now you can't really play your Puka unless like junk dealer.
Do you just like... I was gonna say, maybe you just play the Puka and hope for a miracle. Like, you can't even do that now. What do you... Trash the silver? Yeah, no, this is pretty bad for Iris because... Yeah, I just don't agree with the Puka in general. Like, I think any other draw card would have been better. Even Torturer, although I don't think Torturer would have been very good either. Because even Torturer doesn't require food. And it attacks. Like, even if the attack doesn't hurt that much, it does still attack. And now Iris has to, like, give themselves a bunch of curses. Which, like, in theory, those curses help you because they give you things to trash as junk dealer, but in practice, I mean, I don't think they do because it makes it hard to land anything. So yeah, I mean, I guess I imagine this will be a Duchy. I'll just take Storyteller, I guess. I mean, Mort's just going to Province, and then probably Province again.
So this is just the province. Yep.
And then, yeah, this is a guaranteed Province for Mort, although they will have to trash whatever is on top of their deck. Which could be like a province, and then you obviously can't do that. And you also would have to take a curse. So if Iris buys by Iris can't even afford province, so this is probably... So I mean, you surely play the junk dealer. Okay, yeah, you can kill a copper, and then I think it's worth it to take the curse in the province. Probably, yeah.
Yep. So now,
And honestly, I might just play the scavenger, top deck of gold, and then Duchy this turn. Just not risk having to lose something good with junk dealer. I guess if Mort was tracking their deck really well, they could know what the... Oh, the Scrying Pool discarded anyway, so if they play the junk dealer, they risk having to trash something useful. I would just scavenger top deck gold by Duchy. Oh, I guess Iris might be able to... Wait, who started? Oh no, Iris started, so they can't even tie. Unless they find another curse, but they have no way of getting rid of another curse, so... Yeah, no, this looks... Actually, I guess if you just Duchy as Mort, there is a risk of Iris being able to get in a curse trash and province by. Because I think Iris does still have a curse, right?
yeah,
Um,
2.
because I know Mort has one that he just gained, but I thought that was the only one he had.
So they've got. So Iris has 6 VP tokens, and then 3 provinces. That's 18. I can't math. Another duchy.
I will just see. This is a garbage draw for. In fact, this draw has no chance of getting Iris to province, right? I guess if you sage for a junk dealer and then draw a scrying pool and then get like really lucky, but like that's so unlikely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if Mort plays the junk dealer and draws a victory card, then he'll have to either trash a victory card or not be able to buy a duchy. So I probably wouldn't risk that. I probably
yep,
would just play the scavenger, top deck of gold, buy duchy, and then hope that Iris doesn't have like a god draw. I guess you could top deck storyteller too. That's also reasonable.
yeah. You could get some
I think
drawing.
gold is just better. Okay, he does go with storyteller. I think it probably doesn't matter. Like you get a good hand next turn, you're gonna be winning anyway. Iris, I guess, can take another duchy. But yeah, I mean, this looks like it's probably going to be game.
Yep, junk dealers with curse.
Now you play the storyteller? I'd rather not have to trash that silver with the junk dealer, so I would play the storyteller here. Yeah. Not great looking. This is why I wanted to top deck the gold instead. Um, in fact, this is pretty awful looking now. Um, I guess you play the junk dealer, yeah.
Yeah, and
And then
Iris
just
got Necropolis and Puka again, so
lose the kill the silver. Scavenger top deck gold by duchy. I think. Oh wait, no. Can't you just kill duchy by?
yeah, kill Dutch.
Oh wow. Well, okay. I guess I don't blame him for not seeing that because I didn't see it at first either. Yeah, you could have just killed duchy, bought
Yeah,
province.
and then you would have had enough to because Scavenger too, and then
Yeah.
uh
Okay. I guess I saw it after a bit. It's okay. I had a
it, sometimes it takes like a while where you just look back and you're like, oh,
yeah. I had a moment in my match with Nick where I had like an easy win in hand and I didn't see it. Like I spent like 5 minutes looking and still didn't see it. And everyone in the spectator chat was like, "What is he doing? Like why is
oh
he just
no,
winning?" And then they all jumped into my voice chat and they're like, "Oh my god, he doesn't see it." And then after the game, they pointed out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an idiot." Um, so yeah, I mean it happens. Um, but I mean, Mort still looks to be pretty ahead, although the fact that he has this sad hand, I suppose. Well, the thing is, Iris's deck just has nothing left in it. Um, yeah, like look at that. Like Iris has no. What's is the last card a curse gold? They've
yeah,
Iris killed the gold there with the puka. That couldn't have been right. The last card is a curse gold, right?
yeah, it
They
is.
have no. Like, they cannot even afford a province with all of the money in their deck, and they have nothing to feed to the puka or the junk dealers. So I mean, this looks over.
Yep. Now
But
the next time Mort gets a good draw.
yeah, I mean, it's just a waiting game. Like, yeah, I mean, the vagrant buy was right, but like, it doesn't matter. I don't think. Honestly, Mort should probably just buy vagrant here too, because you have to recognize that there's no possible way Iris can province here. Is there? I don't think so.
No,
Okay,
because
that's fine too, I guess. Um, with this, Mort probably just plays everything with the storyteller and then just draws a bunch of cards. Well, I guess the alternative is playing just the copper and helping you draw two, but I think drawing everything is better. Mort doesn't have their necropolis, right? Yeah, it's gone. So not having the necropolis is kind of sad because it means you can't do play Necro, play Scavenger, top deck the thing you want, and then play a draw card to draw it. That is a thing that would have been nice to be able to do.
Yeah, but just Storyteller for a ton of draw.
Yeah, I think that's probably better. I mean, you're going to draw over half your deck, so...
And you have a bunch of silver and gold, so...
Mort can feed 2 duchies to junk dealers and still win by buying a province, so like...
Even 3 duchies, because the province gives more points.
Yeah, or even like a duchy and a... well, not a duchy and a province, I don't think. No, yeah, you could feed a duchy and province. Okay, this is just a win, yeah. There we go. Okay. That went on, I mean, I guess 2 turns later. 2, but... Yeah, so I mean, they both didn't get enough draw, I think. I mean, yeah, like, Iris went for a scrying pool, but didn't really, like,
Didn't
try and
win.
build it. I think they just, like, underbuilt. Like, I do really think Seer was the strongest draw card there, and, like, you can build a deck that draws a lot of stuff, like, fairly consistently, I think, with Seer and Sage. But let's look at what we got here.
So we've got a bunch of villagers and some village and hamlet.
Yeah, so villages are not going to be a problem here.
Is it? This seems like Tactician would be pretty good, actually.
Maybe. Well, I don't agree with that because there's not a lot of things that will give you money besides treasures.
True.
Like for Tactician to really shine, you'd want to be able to get a lot of money from actions. And so, yeah, I'm not sure about Tactician. And also, like, you have pretty strong draw
You're like patrol.
otherwise. So, because of Pouch, you can open, like, something else and Overlord if you wanted. Although I guess that's the same as just... That was really a better thing to do if you drew the Pouch on turn 2, which neither of them did. Is you can open 2 things and then Overlord with the Pouch. Unfortunately, neither of them can do that. So,
Alright, so Mort gets a rat catcher.
maybe? Oh yeah, it took me until now to realize the startling lack of 3s or 4s on this board.
Yeah, it's all 2s and 5s.
So, I mean, of the 2s, Guardian probably isn't relevant because Bandit's not that scary. Hamlet is going to be extra plus buy if you need more than just the pouch, which you might. But I'm not sure how many buys you're going to be wanting here, because like, so lackeys are good, especially in the early game. Ratcatcher is fine. Tracker is playing Tracker as Way of the Goat is like kind of nice because you still get the top decking effect. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely looking to get a bandit here. I think basically my game plan is 1 or 2 bandits, probably just 1 recruiter, and then some patrols, and then you feed some of the golds to recruiter to keep your villagers up, and then just otherwise just use the golds as your payload, and use the pouch for the plus buy. Yeah, maybe get 2 recruiters. But yeah, as for the opening, I would definitely be opening at least 1 lackeys. Maybe you open Overlord, like, especially with the 3/4. Oh wait, opens Overlord and then requests undo. Oh, because he didn't play his treasures first, right? Yeah. So maybe lackeys Overlord. Yeah, I mean maybe you never get a real recruiter. You just use Overlord as one. Or maybe you get an Overlord and a recruiter, and then you can use the Overlord as patrol or recruiter or bandit, depending on which one you are looking for. And commerce seems like it might be useful to add payload, but I think bandit adding golds is probably fast enough.
Yeah, you have plenty of golds from that.
So yeah, I think my ideal deck here is like 5 golds and a pouch as my payload, and then a bunch of patrols and a couple of recruiters and a bandit, or like one recruiter and one bandit, and then one overlord, which can be either one of those depending on the situation. And you use lackeys to get there.
So
let's see. Mort went for the overlord opening, which I like. I like having a recruiter. I mean, you certainly play it as recruiter, right? It's kind of a sad hand to draw it with, because if you do play as recruiter, it's going to miss the shuffle. So maybe you don't. Maybe you just play it as bandit and are sad. But that's not that sad, because the gold will help you buy patrols, which you want to do. So maybe you play. Oh, really?
well, it's now with all that patrol, only one card in the deck.
Yeah, that's true. But like, even still, I don't see what patrol really gets you. Like, are you gonna buy a real recruiter here? Or are you going to buy a... Well, what's he gonna buy? Buys a real recruiter. Okay, I don't know. I would just have played that as a bandit, probably. Oh, the other thing is that bandit can hit the pouch. And that will hurt, but it's not that bad. You just will have to get a Hamlet instead. But it's annoying. And maybe you get the Hamlet ahead of time, because if you are playing with pouches, you only plus buy, and your opponent's bandit hits the pouch, then you have to spend your entire turn buying a Hamlet, because you only have one buy. So, well, no, actually, you can play Overload as Hamlet, actually. So maybe you don't have to do that. Maybe you just rely on the pouch, and then if you happen to lose it, just Overload as Hamlet, buy a Hamlet, and then be on your merry way with Hamlet as your plus buy instead.
Alright, so another 5 and 2 buys for Mort.
Yeah, no patrol. I think patrol is probably fine.
Yes, so then you can draw a lot of things.
I'm not a huge fan of the rat catchers, if only because I'd rather be trashing estates with recruiter until we have like bandit food for the recruiter up and running.
Yeah. And once you have like gold extra to give to recruiter,
Then I mean you're gonna have as many villagers as you want, but like until then, feeding estates is good. Okay, so takes a lackeys. Maybe just another lackeys. The lackeys are also not terrible food for the recruiter.
yeah, you get 2 villagers when you buy them, you get 2 more when you trash them.
Yeah. Um. Another. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the other rat catcher. I thought about maybe Overlord. Um.
More overlords would probably be really good since
I
you
mean,
can play everything that you want to play.
yeah. I mean, my ideal deck just depends on the 5, so it just depends on patrol, recruiter, and bandit. So having an Overlord like certainly doesn't hurt you, because it is just going to turn into whichever of those 5s you need it to be at the moment. I mean, the only way it hurts is obviously that the debt will slow you down until you pay it off, but like, that's not a huge deal. Okay,
So Iris gets a patrol.
yeah. Good move, I think, especially with that many villagers. You don't have to worry about drawing things dead. This, I guess, is considering the Overlord as well. That would be a little adventurous. Wow, goes for it. Okay. So I guess you play Overlord as Recruiter here? I still don't think playing as Bandit is crazy. Like, you are going to want to buy 5s, and even having just that 1 gold in your deck will make it easier to do that.
Yeah, and also trashing the estate instead of copper with Ratcatcher. Like,
Yeah,
I
maybe.
want.
I mean, I guess that's not really crazy, because, like, I mean, the copper, like, there's already enough estates here to feed 2 recruiters this turn. Okay, yeah, so he does. Ooh! Okay, that's
Oh,
immediate pouch snipe. At least Iris has um, the Overlord to play as a Hamlet, and also may very well have like a turn where they only get 2 or something because of paying off debt. So, I mean, you certainly would want to get a Hamlet as Iris now. Okay, kills. Yeah, kills an estate, of course.
so now they can order.
Yeah, I guess if you
Cards.
want to be drawing on, I guess you probably do. I would try to draw into the Overlord and then play the Overlord as a recruiter. Yeah, play Overlord as recruiter here, I think. Well, maybe play as Bandit to just get more money in your deck. What's the last card? The last card is a
Oh,
the double pouch snipe. Wow, those were both like 1 in 5 chances, right? It's
but
like a 1 in 25 chance that both of them hit the other person's pouch in the first shot.
that's quite the luck. So
Now they both need Hamlets, and that's the bottom
yeah.
line there.
Also, Iris can draw the gold and pay off all the debt right
Yeah,
now.
that's true. There's a gain and play gold that's nice. Pay off all of that and then buy another Overlord. Probably no, you don't want to do that. Looks like they're considering it though. I don't know. I don't know about that. Your deck's clean enough anyway that at that point, Iris
Could
could.
have just bought like Bandit
Well,
straight
I
up.
mean, you couldn't buy anything else, but just pass and the next turn, like actually
Yeah.
buy something you want to buy, like a patrol or an actual bandit. Probably another patrol, and then play Overlord as or no, you would have to play Overlord as a Hamlet for Iris. I don't know. We'll see. So this is where Mort wishes he'd played his Overlord as the Hamlet. And maybe where he goes and buys the Hamlet with 9?
Or buys another Overlord.
But that's a good point. Yeah, you might as well buy the Overlord. Um, but like
And play it as Hamlet.
playing his Hamlet.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. Buying the other Overlord is better because now you can play it as Hamlet and buy a real Hamlet and still be able to draw a deck. I think.
Yeah, you've lackeys, you've got Recruiter.
Yeah, so they both have pretty nice decks here. So we'll see who can like transition into like a viable like add payload in a way that doesn't like screw everything over. Yeah, the decks look pretty similar. They both have 2 overlords now. They both don't have a pouch. They both have 1 recruiter. Although, yeah, I mean Iris has the patrol, but Iris also has the 8 debt. So that seems like they can't buy anything here, and Mort can probably add a patrol, and then they'll be about even again. I think maybe Mort's slightly ahead. Yeah. Kill lackeys, play this overlord as a patrol, presumably. Oh, okay, yeah. You can play this one as the Hamlet and the next one as a patrol. That's probably smarter, I guess. Discard a copper for a buy. Right? Oh, I guess you discard just I don't know what's tracking. Does Mort have any lackeys in there? Because if so, then you discard for action and for buy here. Just so you don't have to use a villager and you'll still be able to draw everything. Yeah, Mort does have 2 lackeys, so you should discard coppers for action and for buy. That's just better, because then you play Overlord as patrol, play lackeys, draw everything without having to use any more villagers. And then you can buy, like, either patrol Hamlet or, like, bandit Hamlet. It probably doesn't matter which one. You just play the Overlord as the other. Okay, so that just seems like... I guess it's not really worse if you're only spending 7 of anyway, but now you've top decked a copper. Yeah, I mean, the other way was just better, but it doesn't matter then. So yeah, I mean, you buy Hamlet Bandit or Hamlet Patrol here. Can't imagine it matters which one.
Oh yeah, just Hamlet Patrol. Oh,
Yeah, and then you start playing bandits,
makes sense.
and then you start getting a lot of gold.
And you can even trash Gold's Recruiter
Yeah, and then
later.
at some point you'll trash your gold to Recruiter because you need the villagers. Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point, like, you have enough control over your deck. The Overlord could just be the action you want to use it as. Like, especially since you already have 2, that's, I think, plenty of flexibility, I think. I don't think the third is... Like, it's just more expensive than buying an actual action card you want. I guess maybe the idea was they really wanted to trash, but, like, your draw was strong enough that you didn't need to trash there. Like, you can just pick off the coppers with, like, playing stuff as goat or
Yeah, because you're
playing
just
Herder.
drawing deck. You're drawing deck already, so
Yeah. So let's see. Iris has played both Overlords and hasn't. Yeah, loses the lackeys. That looks right. Play rat. Oh, what's the last card? Um, it's a copper. Play lackeys to. Yeah, no, okay. Mort is definitely ahead now, even despite the weird Overlord buy. It's like, this is just sad. What are you gonna buy? A silver? Well, you buy a Hamlet, I imagine.
yeah, you want the bind. Also, Hamlet, you can just have a proper Hamlet so that the Overlord can be a 5 instead of Hamlet.
Yeah, and then they both need to start playing bandits. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like I'd rather trash to get villagers with the Recruiter.
Yeah, I think Iris is like not focusing enough on payload, like the money, but also like the buys, like to be able to add multiple pieces at once.
And Mort
Okay.
continue to get rid of the lackeys.
Yeah, that was their last lackeys now. So now you can just play your Hamlet.
Discard for action, probably.
Yeah, you discard for both, and then you play one Overlord as a bandit, and the other one as a patrol. Yeah, that seems far and away the best. You discard for both, action and buy. You play Overlord Bandit, Overlord Patrol, draw everything. Have after paying off the debt, I think you'll have 6. Yeah, so I mean, I guess discarding for buy isn't necessary, but why did you just? Oh, I guess they're not planning on gaining and playing the gold, but that just seems. Oh, or they're just wasting a villager.
Uh,
Yeah, that was just a waste of a villager right there. Um, if you play it, it was a fine move, I think, but you just discard for action too. Like,
yeah, you can draw it back.
yeah, you still draw it back. It's just. Or wait, no, you don't. You don't draw it back because you're playing
Because
there. So maybe it wasn't a waste.
what if you played Patrol, you would have drawn it
Yes, I
back.
would have rather just play patrol and then not trash because I don't think you have to trash here. Um, get to really. Oh,
Uh,
okay. Somebody has an overlord obsession. There is a point in the game where you should just buy the thing you're going to emulate rather than the overlord because it costs less. And you are at that point, Mort. Um, like it is just cheaper to buy the patrol or the bandit that you were certainly going to play that overlord as. Um, like the flexibility is good in the early game, but at this point, you have way more flexibility than you need. Um, this Iris is gonna play this. Okay, plays the bandit. How many? They won't be able to draw everything. Maybe if they draw well. Yeah, okay, draw the recruiter. Play the recruiter. There's a third lackeys there, right? No, I don't think so. It's a. Is it a lackeys? What is that last card? No, it's a gold. Yeah. So do you just kill a copper? Then next turn you're going to be trying to kill lackeys if possible. And by going for the overlords as well.
Overlord. If Overlord runs out,
Yeah, I guess the idea there is that you had 7, so it's only 1 extra debt, which isn't likely to matter. That's a more reasonable overlord buy to me because they only had
uh,
1 buy.
yeah, and it's the third instead of the fourth. In addition, since you have 7 economy, you can buy a 5 and pay off the 1 debt.
Yeah. Um, although I mean, ideally Iris is going to be able to gain a gold and use Hamlet to get an extra buy. Um, like if they draw their cards in the right order. I assume the first thing Iris does here is, well, you play Ratcatcher, but then you like probably are going to recruit her lackeys. Although they have an actual recruiter. So. I guess one thing you could do is try and play Overlord as recruiter and trash your actual recruiter. Um, because in the deck I'm envisioning, you don't need to play recruiter every turn. Um,
Just like occasionally when you need
yeah, probably like
a
every
burst
other
of
turn. Um, because if you're using a couple patrols to draw, and you can use Hamlet for the action, like you're probably gonna need to be spending like 3 villagers a turn maybe. So recruiter every other turn would work out. So yeah, I mean you probably kill your real recruiter with your fake one at some point, rather than killing a gold. That just seems more useful. Okay, yeah, good. Gains the gold before the shuffle.
You know,
Yeah, I might have just played the Overlord as Recruiter there and then trashed the real Recruiter. You play Overlord as Recruiter here. What's in the deck? There's coppers down there. There's at least one copper, so you play Recruiter here and trash a copper, right? Or do you just play Bandit? I mean, either one is probably fine.
I mean, you can Recruiter here, draw stuff,
Yeah.
and
What is the stuff
trash a gold.
drawing is the question. Um, what's the other? What's the other card in there? Discards a copper, gains a gold. What is the other? I'm trying to figure out what the other card in the deck is. Because they shuffled, discarded 2 coppers. It's 2 coppers. Okay, where'd the other copper come from? Where did it come from? They shuffled, played Hamlet, discarded 2 coppers, played Bandit, gained a gold. That's weird. I'm trying to figure out where that other copper came from. Oh, I see, because it was top decked from the patrol. Okay, that's okay. I'm a fool. Um,
Gets another Overlord.
Another Overlord, oh my god. Okay, at this point it's just an obsession, like, must have all the Overlords.
I mean, could you pile out
With
with like?
Overlords?
I mean, Overlord lackeys,
I,
and then
I mean, I can't imagine why you would be trying to pile Overlords rather than just get a good deck and buy provinces. Like, trying to lower Overlords for no reason is like, why would you do that? I mean, I guess maybe the thing that they're concerned about is not drawing the cards in the right order. But like, you already have enough Overlords in a small enough deck that shouldn't be an issue. And if you have like a few patrols, like the odds are pretty good that you'll find the patrols when they're going to be useful. And even if they aren't, like worst case, you have to play an extra Overlord as a patrol to shuffle. Like that doesn't seem to be a good justification for having all of your important engine pieces be Overlords. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you need that many Overlords. I get it; it's a fun card, but um, it's not really necessary at this stage in the game. So, how are they on like payload? Mort is pretty good payload. Iris still is like nothing, and lost the gold. Yeah, I mean Mort looks way ahead here. Plays a bandit. Yeah, I mean I guess I imagine you play 2 bandits, but Iris still only has the single buy. So maybe you play Hamlet. Plays another bandit. Okay. Did not hit any of Mort's gold because most of them are in hand. But like, okay, congratulations. Now you have 9 in 1 buy. I guess you do get another Overlord, but like, you should be.
oh
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Iris was right to buy the Overlord because it's pretty much objectively better than buying anything else. But you shouldn't have gotten yourself to the point where you had $9 and only 1 buy in the first place.
yeah,
You
you've
should be
got
the second
Hamlets.
buy by that point. So, okay. Loses the lackeys. Wait, why did Mort even have the lackeys? Oh, Mort bought a lackeys last turn.
Yeah, bought lackeys for villagers.
That looks I mean, I didn't like anything about that turn, honestly. I didn't think you needed a third Hamlet. You don't need lackeys for any purpose, and you didn't need the other overlord. So I think they're just kind of like spinning their wheels a little bit, like get more of lackeys and overlords because I got some and they were good, so I should get more. I think maybe is what they're doing. Like
Alright, so lackeys,
transitioning.
overlord, and hamlets pile out. Buy an estate for points. Win 1-0.
I mean, like yeah, this is looking like it might end up piling out, but like I don't think it should be a pile out.
Because look, they were getting like 10. A couple of bandit plays, you get 16. You
Yeah.
spam hamlets for buy.
Well,
And just
I mean, you really only need two buys, I think. Like, I mean, my aim here is to build to threatening double, which means you don't have to necessarily have the money for double in hand. Um, but you should build to have a deck that can double. And one thing that I heard recently that is really useful is even if you have a deck that can double, the first time you green should just be one province. Because like for parity reasons, if then you and your opponent double back and forth after you get the single province, then you get the last province, which means you have control at the end. So you build to a deck that can double, and then you single and add something else, and then just start doubling. And that's a lot more awkward for your opponent to compete with.
alright, so Mort has exactly 16 now.
In what? In their deck?
In total.
Oh yeah, because of the copper. Yeah. Um, but I mean, Mort has enough overlords that they could easily add more golds with Bandit.
By the last overlord.
Huh? Probably would have
Lackeys?
just. I
Oh,
probably would have just
I
bought.
called it.
I mean, yeah, it's not. It wasn't that hard of a guess. I guess I would have just bought a province, honestly, because you have enough to double province. You certainly have the draw for it. Um, just buy
Now you have enough to pile out now.
enough buys.
Well,
Maybe.
6 overlords, a few hamlets.
Yeah, but then can you draw? Well, and remember, if Mort were going to be piling out, they would also have to score. So you would need 9 buys to pile out this turn.
So
That's
right here is Iris. I think Iris is also in the position to start greening.
oh yeah, definitely like. I think they should have been greening like a few turns ago, probably, or at the very least, they should have been not buying overlords and buying like patrols instead. Um, or like buying one bandit because having one bandit is certainly fine. You're going to be playing one bandit every turn probably because you have kind of have to keep up with your opponents. You have to be able to keep up with your opponent's bandits probably trashing your golds. So yeah, I mean, just like don't empty the overload pile here. But yeah, so I think whoever greens first is gonna be maybe at an advantage. Maybe not at an advantage for Iris because Iris is still behind on money, I think, but be in a better spot than if they don't green. Yeah, Iris has no money. I guess you get 2 golds and then draw them. Yeah, that seems pretty good. You have a chance to hit a couple of, so hit one of Mort's golds, and then you just buy province, I think. Finally, there are no more overlords, so we don't have to worry about them buying overlord instead of something else. Um, yeah, but buy province, I think. Um, it still is pretty wishful thinking to say that Iris can double next turn. Well, is it even possible? Because they'd need to play 2 overlords for bandits, one for a hamlet, and the fourth one would also have to be a bandit. but they would also have to trash something with recruiter, which is going to be what? Like, it's kind of got to be a gold. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, Bandit Hamlet Estate. Really? Um, I don't know. I don't see what the point of the estate
I
is.
mean, Bandit Hamlet would be good at least because now you have a Hamlet and you can use the overlords to play
Yeah.
other better cards.
Honestly, I think from Iris's point of view, they're super behind, and they should be aggressively greening because that's their path to victory. If Iris keeps building, they're just gonna get steamrolled. So I think Iris's only path to victory is probably just take a province there. But they're already in a pretty sad spot. Like I don't think they could have realistically doubled. I think what they would do is play Overlord as a recruiter to trash the actual recruiter because you don't need that thing anymore. Um, and then play a couple more as bandits. And then you won't get to 16, but you might get to 15, so you can like province patrol, and then like the turn after that, if Mort is still like dithering around. Well, yeah, 16 isn't that far, but it wasn't doable to province that turn and then double the next turn. I don't think I did the math. Like you would have to play, you would have to have played 3 overlords as bandits, and they only have 4. Um, well, yeah, that's true. If you get bandit and Hamlet, then you can double. But like, I would rather just, I don't know. I guess it might even out if you build a little bit and then double the next turn rather than greening like provincing first. Yeah, I agree.
Lackeys is
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should still have been buying lackeys at this point in the game. It's not like villagers are an issue. You just, if you want draw, just buy patrol. Um, like, yeah, I agree with the lackeys. I think like the last 4 or 5 lackeys buys have all been wrong. Honestly, I mean, same with the overlord buys. Like, I think once you have recruiter like actually giving you a consistent source of villagers, like I don't think you really need lackeys. I mean, it's kind of just like buying a moat. Like the extra villagers don't matter as much in the long run. Well, because the whole point of lackeys is that the villagers help you in the short run, because they help you now after you get the lackeys. But if you already have like 4 villagers, then the extra 2 you got from lackeys only help you like way down the line when those 4 run out. Um, and so it's a lot less impressive. Iris loses another gold here. Mort has the money to double, but still can't because okay, you certainly take a province here, right? Um, maybe you take a guardian. I wouldn't hate a guardian actually. What's Mort's last card is a gold actually, so he can.
lackeys? What?
Okay, I actually don't hate that lackeys because in this case it was very much an economy thing. And also, see what he did. He got commerce. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
that you want to be building to triple province here, but like, what I think Mort is doing here is playing with his food. Like, he doesn't see a need to green first because he has so much more in his deck. So I think he's just gonna like build and build and build forever. Well, or just I mean I think he's able to triple now, so maybe he's just gonna do that. I mean I think Mort has been one for a while.
Triple or buy up all the hamlets.
Yeah, that's true. Or like single province and then all the hamlets, maybe.
Even just a state in
Yeah,
hamlets.
even a state. Well, depending on what Iris does, you might have to do more than that. Yeah, honestly, I think that lackeys with the idea of doing the commerce was like kind of reasonable. But I don't think it was necessary. Maybe it was safer. Um, I don't really think it was safer though because I mean you could dud. You're not really likely to dud. Recruiter basically makes dudding impossible. So yeah, I mean, this is like, I think Mort could have bought almost anything there and still be ahead. Mort buys triple curse and still is probably winning there. um, okay, is Iris finally going to get an extra buy for like the first time? Yes, they're finally doing it. Um, but even then, you only have like 12, and it's a little unimpressive. Someone finally touch a province? Like maybe I am wanting to green too early. Like honestly, I could be wrong there about getting provinces versus continuing to build. But like I do think this is a board where in most cases you don't want to build beyond double province. Like in most cases that isn't worth the time it takes because once you can double you can just do it a couple of times and then be winning. Um, so I mean what I want to do here is just build until you can double and then start clicking on green cards. And maybe that's wrong, but Mort at least has been able to double for a couple turns and has been messing around. Well, I mean, okay, fluctuator on 20. You don't really have to because you're playing Bandit too.
Or Guardian. You should just have Guardian.
Yeah, I guess if you're in Mort's position, you can afford to get a couple of Guardians to just protect yourself. But I mean, you don't even need to make sure that you have 16 at the start of your turn because I mean, especially Mort has like overlords like everywhere, so Mort can certainly spare the overlords to play a couple bandits, but I don't even think you would need to. Yeah, and I mean, I guess you can add an extra gold just for the consistency. I do like Mort's decision to keep one copper. Um, that just seems like, I mean, it's basically a gold if you're trying to province. Like it's just as good as a gold there. Um, I mean, it's pretty much just as good as a gold anyway. So like, uh, yeah, because you're not gonna like, if you had 13 because of the copper, you'd still be able to buy province in a 5. Um, so yeah, we'll see if Mort can close this out. Yeah, I think you. Well, I mean, at this point, Mort has been building to be able to triple, so you presumably go for the triple. I think. How much? Yeah, I mean, Mort has gold piles at 11 because the bandits keep like running through the pile. So, man, wouldn't that be hilarious if gold was the third pile here?
Oh man.
That certainly means that people were taking too long, but that would be pretty hilarious. I mean, I would definitely be entertained by that. So Mort has 7 golds. You were gonna want to bandit for an 8th one, so you can triple. And then yeah, I think just like yeah, just make sure you got the buys. Yeah, just discard for buys. I don't think you need a 4th buys. Just play the Hamlets, play a recruiter, trash the lackey. Okay, oh, so you're just looking for a win? 5 buys, 6, 7. Oh yeah, this is probably a win.
Yeah. Province, estate, hamlets.
Yeah, this is already a win in hand actually. Um, yeah, my bad for not even thinking about that. I mean, the reason I wasn't thinking about it is that this game should never have gotten to a point where a pile out is possible. Like, I think it was just like the lackeys and the overlord piles should not have been emptied. But yeah, I mean, this is a win. Just draw everything. Play the overlord for another hamlet. to get that 7th buy. Okay, I mean that's just messing around at this point. Just play Overlord as Hamlet, discard for a buy, and then Province Estate, empty Hamlets. Oh, oh no, okay. Maybe I guess he realized the error.
Come on. Yes.
Hamlet, yeah, okay, he's got it. Yeah, he's got it. Okay. I'll be right back.
Alright, now just clicking the cards. So that's 3-0 right now.
Okay. So that's 3-0 for Mort, right?
Yep, we're just waiting for game 4 to start right now. Alright, so right away you see Magic Land. So you've got Tomb, which gives you points for all your trashing that you're doing. Reach Junk Dealer, really good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of trashing here.
Yeah, Monastery,
Wow, yeah.
Catapult,
Um,
Salvager.
man, I wonder if Banquet is relevant if you're doing Tomb stuff, because there's not a lot of extra gains. That's actually really funny. Um, Banquet is the only way to get extra gains, right?
Salvager has
Well,
plus
no,
buy.
because Salvager requires you to trash one in order to gain one.
Oh,
So Banquet is the only way to actually gain multiple cards, like increase the size of your deck by more than one in a turn. Rocks. Okay, yeah,
but
there's rocks. But rocks
yes,
works a limited number of times, and also, why would you ever get enough catapults to uncover rocks? I mean, yeah, you're
is
right.
that a challenge?
I mean, I very rarely see it happen. Like sometimes I see games where each person gets 2 catapults, but why would you be the one to get the 3rd catapult? So all right, the yeah, so man, I guess Banquet is like probably relevant unless the game just doesn't go on long enough. Like given that there's Tomb, and given that there's a lot of trashing,
Yeah, you could totally banquet and then use those coppers to like feed to junk dealers.
yeah, you like give one to a junk dealer, or give one to the catapult or something, or feed it to Salvager to get the extra buy.
Yeah. Because now junk dealers just like plus VP.
Yeah.
I mean, also, magic lamp you can get wishes.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like a one-time
Yeah,
thing, for sure. You obviously want to try and aim to do that. So about the flag bearer, I kind of disagree with opening flag bearer, and I also disagree with the fact that Mort hasn't contested the flag bearer yet. I mean, the rule of thumb with flag bearer is don't buy flag bearer unless your opponent does. And if your opponent does, then do buy it.
you always want to go for it second.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it seems like if there ever were a board where getting flag bearer first would be reasonable, it might be this one, just because there's a lot you can do to get rid of it and benefit in the process. Like you can salvage the flag bearer, you can catapult it and give them a curse, etc. It's also an extra unique for it. Actually does, especially if you buy flag bearer on the turn before you're trying to pop magic lamp, because you get a bigger hand that turn, and you also it's an extra unique. So it seems like a pretty good possible thing if you can time your magic lamp pop right.
Yeah, and also you've got Ghost Town, so you do have villages.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got villages, you got draw and journeyman. You've got like most important engine parts. The only thing that will be tricky is the plus buy. Um, and you've got like the attack and catapult. So yeah, I think the cool thing about this board is that I would expect Banquet to be important. Um, so yeah, and I guess maybe you would do things like Banquet for flag bearer if you're at the point where like you don't really need to add more. I mean, you can always like add more draw or more. But banqueting for Ghost Town would be pretty hilarious. Just pay 3 to get the 3 that you could have just bought.
With coppers.
Yeah, and then so you're basically just paying for free coppers, which I mean in a
I mean,
2 game with strong trashing, it's not that bad.
yeah, and with Tomb too.
Yeah, and actually another thing you could just do is just like use Monastery to thin out any extra. Like you could just banquet a ton if you have good enough draw. You could just banquet a lot and use Monastery to get rid of. Oh wait, that's just a combo. If you have coppers in play and a monastery in hand, there is no reason to ever buy something when you can banquet for it. Because you banquet, you gain 2 extra coppers, and then you can use monastery to trash 2 extra coppers in play.
And you get 2
Yeah, you
points.
get 2 points from it. I mean, otherwise there would be no reason for it except money. But like,
So
yeah, you
that's
get 2
actually
points from it. So that actually feels like a pretty strong, like, 2 like yeah, like a deck that scores primarily from tombs. You just build a big engine that can draw a lot of coppers, um, and you can be helped by that in the fact that you can use journeyman to skip over your coppers the first time to make sure you find all your good cards, and then just draw all the coppers later. You just need to have
yeah.
enough journeyman to pull that off, and enough ghost towns, which might be annoying. You can use a couple conclaves. Well, you can use one conclave to play journeyman, maybe another one to play junk dealer or something. And then man, that's kind of funny. If that deck actually like, well, so how does it work?
And then you can
You
just
have like
run down piles.
you only need one monastery to make it work. The idea is you just yeah, you are going to run the copper pile out eventually, but you could theoretically make a deck that scores like 6 a turn or something while building, rather than putting green into your deck. Like you could like I guess the only tricky thing is you would need to be feeding some of the coppers to salvagers.
And junk dealer if you have it.
Well, yeah, if you had the junk dealer, but you could lose the junk dealer later if it wasn't useful. So yeah, maybe you would have like um a couple of salvagers, like 2 salvagers is probably the max, just because terminal space is a little limited.
Yeah, if you trash with 2 salvagers, you have 3 buys, and 3 banquets is a ton of cards. So
Yeah, and then after
you're
3 banquets, you
still
can trash.
getting more.
After 3 banquets, you can trash whatever the heck you want with Monastery. You can trash like 9 cards. So basically, anything you need to get rid of, all the coppers you had in play probably, and any other junk or cards you didn't want. Yeah, that seems pretty like potentially powerful. Man, I kind of want to like try out that deck after the fact and see if it works. I'll post this in Kingdom Analysis.
Yeah,
Ask
actually, sure.
about
Oh,
the banquet deck, and see if that the banquet like monastery with tomb points, and see if that's actually like a viable thing you can do. Um, and you can also like do that while like actually having a deck. Like you could just like have a deck that like buys province and also banquets every turn, and then uses monastery to thin out the coppers. Like that would probably not be that hard to do.
that would be a pretty interesting deck, honestly, just getting stuff from Tomb. That's like why people ban it. Some people say it makes the game too long.
What makes the game too long?
Tomb, because it encourages just
I don't know.
buy and trash instead of
Maybe.
ending the game quickly.
I mean, but that's fun. Like I love Tomb. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite landmarks. Um, so Mort pops here.
Nice.
The yeah, he's on track because Iris popped in the previous turn and Iris went first. So okay, finally fights on the flag. Um, Iris has a pretty good turn coming up here. So let's see what their kind of deck they're trying to build. So their decks look like pretty similar right now. Iris doesn't have a junk dealer, which is interesting. But I guess you don't like with the many trashing options. Like
Alright, so
I think not having a junk dealer is reasonable. You certainly salvage the flag bearer here, right?
or catapult it.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think
Actually, no, the
catapulting,
copper,
yeah, catapulting the
because
copper is better. Oh, especially
and yeah,
too. Yeah,
salvage flag bearer because you get rid of a poor card and you get the flag.
yeah, and then I don't know.
What would you buy with?
Journeyman, like banquet for, or no, Ghost Town banquet for journeyman or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. I just like banquet here. I think Ghost Town banquet for journeyman. Well, okay, wait, because the banquet thing is really only great with monastery. I mean, it's not bad. Um, Iris does have the monastery, but doesn't have it in hand. So, I mean, it's not as great to banquet when you don't have monastery in hand, but you might still want to do it here. Well, I guess because Iris also doesn't have a junk dealer that needs to be fed, so maybe you don't do the banquet here. But are they? They're not already fully trashed, are they? I guess maybe. There's 9 coppers in the trash, 5 estates. There's only 12 coppers total. So yeah, maybe you do take that. Well, I don't know how much draw Iris has is the thing. Like, I guess in theory they have the terminal space to support too. Okay, so they are doing it. Oh yeah, because the ghost town goes to hand. So yeah, that's probably reasonable. I guess you can draw everything. Yeah, I guess with the wishes too. So Yeah, so now is I think where you start doing, as Iris, you start probably banqueting for everything just because you can. Um,
Mort getting the flag back with the trash.
yeah, but Mort seems to be behind now.
Yeah, their deck is.
It's a ghost town, okay. Yeah, like Iris has a great. I mean, we will have to see what the wishes get used on. I'm not actually sure what to use the wishes on. Maybe like for Iris another salvager if you're trying to go for the triple banquet thing, which I might do. And then maybe just another ghost town or something. Because the thing is, the terminal space is really annoying here because ghost towns, I mean, they only work every other turn, and conclave like is annoyingly inconsistent. Um, I guess if you have a deck with like several journeymen and several salvagers, like you can probably have two conclaves. Well, not necessarily, because what if you don't draw a conclave in the starting hand and you have to play a journeyman first? Then like so maybe you only want to have one conclave. Conclave is just cool, but like it's a really annoying village. So wishes for gold? I guess. I mean if you're trying to buy provinces, like you give yourself exactly enough money to buy a province and like a banquet or something. If you're if you're trying to go for yeah, I guess if you're trying to go for triple banquet, you still need enough money to afford triple banquet. But I would have been drawing before wishing. Okay, so maybe Iris is just going for the boring like build an engine with draw and plus buy and payload, uh, and then just like buy provinces. So like, what's what's Iris's total money? You can like catapult to copper. Yeah, and then you can still province banquet here. Yeah, you like salvage the estate. Province banquet for Ghost Town probably. Man, that's so funny. Banquet for Ghost Town. But you do, I think. Trash is the monastery. Okay.
What?
I mean, it's fine. If you're not going for like banquet combos,
Yeah.
you don't really need the monastery. Like you already have catapult and salvager. I just would have wanted to go for banquet stuff because it seems fun and like one of my favorite things in Dominion is being able to take a card that normally sucks and make it like useful. So like a board where banquet is actually good is like I mean, I would be trying to use it probably. And yeah, I mean a board where it's the only sustainable way to add more cards to your deck. Like tomb board. Like that just seems like it's free points. It's free real estate once you have the consistent enough draw for it. Um, so okay, what is Mort spending his wishes on? One on a journeyman. That's fine. Mort's got a cellar, which I assume the cellar was just something he picked up with a spare two. It's probably not worth the terminal or the space in your deck for it, but it might be. Um, it does help you like avoid duds and stuff. Um, catapults. That's really. I wouldn't be catapulting there. Because now, like, how are you gonna continue your turn? You gonna like wish for a conclave or something? Wish for a junk dealer? No. Yeah, I would probably have maybe wish for just another journeyman to keep drawing. Although what is in Mort's deck? Do we know? Um, Copper, silver, ghost town. Oh, I don't know. There was more stuff, wasn't there? Okay, whatever. We'll see what he does here, I guess. Wishes for a journeyman to draw some stuff dead. Okay, I guess you're just drawing the junk dealer dead. It's not awful. Yeah, I do kind of like. So was that 3 wishes for journeyman? It was 2. What was the other wish for? That was on the previous turn. It was for conclave. Yeah, I mean the fact that you're having to wish for engine parts means you're behind. I think. Like the fact that Iris can wish for golds and still have like good draws.
Yeah, this
Pretty far ahead here. And while
this
I like selfishly wish Iris would attempt the banquet thing, I think just trying to score with provinces is probably fine.
yeah, this game Iris seems pretty ahead.
So do you salvage the catapult maybe? Terminal space is pretty limited. I would not hang on to both the catapult and the salvager. And the salvager is, I think, going to be more useful. Well, now you can't even. I mean, what are you going to do here? What are you going to salvage? Salvage gold? That doesn't look right. Just not going to salvage anything and buy like. Thing is, it's pretty hard to build too big. Like, just because the villages are so annoying. I guess you could like mass ghost towns. Does salvage the gold? Okay. Oh yeah, I guess salvaging gold, buying gold back is like, or no, you should have salvaged Ghost Town, bought Ghost Town back if you wanted to do that for just a free point. But I guess that's not what they're planning to do. That's fine, I think. So Mort, I imagine, is gonna play Conclave and then Journeyman, right? Yeah. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
naming. Name Copper.
yeah. Now also Iris has like ghost towns in play pretty consistently.
Yeah, I think Iris just has more ghost towns. Yeah, Iris has 5. Mort only has 2, so it's more. It's they're both consistently playing them. It's just that Iris is more. Um, they each have a conclave. So yeah, I mean Iris just has more terminal space, which means more space for journeymen, um, which means more draw and better turns. Like again, like Mort is running out of terminal space. Loses the junk dealer. That's probably fine. I mean, you want to take at least 1 ghost town here, maybe just 2. Um, like you need that terminal space pretty badly because you just can't draw that much without it. And if you want to rely on conclave for actions, you have to prepare to get burned sometimes. Because if you don't draw it at the right time, it will not be as useful. I mean, I guess it's kind of useful if you draw it with something like Salvager, but if you draw it like mid-turn, and you're like, I don't want to play my Salvager mid-turn, but I can't get an extra action any other way or whatever. Like that can be kind of sad. Adds a gold. Okay, I mean this should be Ghost Town by right? I think so.
Nope.
No, I mean a conclave buy is better than nothing. Um, Yeah, I mean the conclave buys like it does in theory at least increase your terminal space, but in practice it might not. The cellar helps there, I suppose. You can play cellar after conclave. So yeah, this would be a game where I would understand if Iris wanted to spin for a while and not try to like buy provinces, and instead just try to get a bunch of tomb points. Like this is where you start banqueting because otherwise you can't grow your deck. Yeah, I agree with getting rid of the catapult. So this is where you do weird stuff like triple banquet.
Yeah, like Banquet for like
Um,
Monastery.
you could make it like Iris has a lot of overdraw. You could make an argument for triple banquet for Ghost Town to just deny them from Mort completely, and then just like the thing
Nice.
you really would want a monastery. Oh, okay. So just they are doing Ghost Town denial, which I do like. I like the Ghost Town denial because like Conclave is your own like Mort's now stuck with only two Ghost Towns and
Nice. And also not playing the fifth one, so to play them the turn
the
after.
orange balance doesn't matter hugely, but yeah, it's kind of important, I guess. They have enough draw probably to that balancing the Ghost Towns. Is it three? Is it? Do they have? They'll be balancing them 4 and 4 now. Yeah, that's fine. Um, Iris is, I think, completely one at this point. Unless they leave like a pile out or something.
Yeah, Monastery could be good because it's a way to score multiple points.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea with Monastery is you banquet a bunch and then Monastery to lose all the coppers. Um, like, oh, I guess what Iris is trying to do is just get 2 coppers to feed to the salvagers, and then otherwise keep a lean deck. Um, but like I think if Iris had a monastery, they would be able to support like triple banqueting every turn. Um, which is like I mean that's equivalent to buying a province. Um, like on a 1 turn delayed cycle, I guess, because you have to then trash the coppers next turn. Like that's probably what I would be doing.
Yeah, as long as you can draw the coppers to put them in play.
Yeah, and meanwhile what are you banqueting for? Well, you're just lowering piles, so you get more journeymen. I guess you maybe get a few conclaves. Um, and then if your opponent starts provincing, you just start provincing as well. Uh, you can also fight on the flag pretty easily there because you have way more like trashing capacity than your deck than you need. So, um, yeah, if you're doing that banquet deck, you certainly are going to be taking the flag. And then if your opponent fights you back on the flag, that's another pile that gets lowered. Um,
Yeah, so actually Banquet for Flag Bearers seems pretty good here.
so yeah, I guess Iris is just salvaging 2 coppers here probably. And then probably adding more money, I think. But yeah, I mean, so I guess what would they do here? Like, I mean, I think. Oh, they're not doing the other one. I guess are they just gonna take like silver flag bearer or something? I mean, you can banquet for both, but like you don't have to. I mean, you'd want the monastery for that, I guess. You would like if you're trying to do that, you would like banquet for a monastery, banquet for a flag bearer. I think. Ooh, this. I mean, it's a sad hand for Iris, but I'm sure the ghost towns are gonna give them a journeyman. It's like statistically almost impossible for them not to.
Yeah, 4 cards.
Okay, so what is Mort's best like strategy here to try and catch up? Um, I mean, there's only so much you can do when you've lost the Ghost Town split that badly. I think it's probably just trying to province consistently, because if Iris has to worry about provincing, then there's a lot less they can do to help their deck. Wait, this card's a gold but keeps a flag bearer. I guess that's being pessimistic, assuming that Iris may not draw everything, even though they probably will. Um, yeah, I mean, what Iris discarded didn't really matter there. So yeah, for Mort here, maybe Province Journeyman. For Mort, I think you don't worry about Tomb, and you try not to let the game go on long enough for Tomb to become more relevant. Or go the exact opposite route and go hard on Tomb. Oh, okay. Banquet for Flagbearer rather than just. I guess that's fine. It's a little ambitious of Mort to think they can draw. I don't know, I guess it's not that ambitious. They have a pretty small deck. So yeah, Iris is probably just looking to province here as well, and do they have enough money to bankrupt for something too? If they salvage a flag bearer, then probably. What's the last card? I have no idea what the last card is. Salvage flag bearer, salvage curse, right? Okay, so yeah, is this like trying to build a double, I guess? It's probably alright. Would you
Maybe
be able to build to double while still singling that turn? Because I would probably have wanted to buy a province there.
you can still get a duchy.
I mean, I don't think you would want to get the duchy, probably.
Double gold.
I think the double gold is probably fine, because then the idea is just like, now they're just gonna like double every turn. And pick up 2 points along the way. Um, Mort. Mort can't double? Can Mort double? I don't think so. Maybe using like Salvager on a gold or something, but that's not sustainable. And Mort isn't going to be able to draw everything. Or play everything. Well, you can like salvage the flag bearer. I guess you probably do that. Yeah, I imagine you salvage flag bearer. Can't quite double. Adding draw is hard because you may not have the actions to play it. So you're kind of just in a bind. Maybe you just province gold. Yeah, I mean the thing is like there's a limit to how big Mort can build because of terminal space, and Iris doesn't have that limit, so. Like, it's gonna be pretty hard but Mort's trying to build anyway, because those conclaves are gonna start being annoying, probably. Oh yeah, once Iris has provinces, they can be cycling them with Salvager too, which gives them a lot of control and also gives you an extra point if you cycle province. I guess you can't be doing that with both salvagers, or you can't buy double province. You'd have to like mill one province and then just lose like a copper or something in order to buy two other provinces if that's what you're going for. But like, what is Iris's top card? Is it gold?
I think it is. No, silver.
Oh, silver. Okay. So wait, if you salvage copper here, you'll have just enough. Salvage copper, buy copper. You're gonna have to start salvaging ghost towns. Oh no, you don't have enough. Huh. I guess Iris just had so much last time because of the salvage flag bearer. I would maybe have preferred to salvage a ghost town there, so you could afford province gold. Like, salvage a ghost towns I think is fine because, well, maybe it's not fine. Maybe you need all
It's,
the actions you can get. Continues to build.
this is an
Yeah,
interesting
probably
game.
fine. Um, that's just Iris's. Is that Iris's second conclave? Yeah, that's okay. Second conclave is fine. Third conclave would not be fine, I don't think. So, okay, what conclave? Salvage your conclave catapult. Well, why does Mort still have the catapult? Like the attack doesn't really hurt.
Yeah, with all the ghost towns, you just draw back up
Like yeah,
right away.
Iris has tons of overdraw. Like the attack doesn't really reduce reliability at all, and it doesn't reduce the amount Iris can draw to below the amount they actually to the amount that they need to draw. Like they can still draw everything. So I think that catapult is just kind of a waste of terminal space and also a kind of a waste of a trash that you could have been using a better like trashing card. Like what do you salvage now? Salvage the conclave? I mean, yeah, what do you salvage? Like, I guess salvage conclave, buy like profits copper. Hmm. Salvage. Salvage what? Gold? That feels bad. He needs to be adding money, not losing it.
Province?
Just mill province? I guess.
Mort's ahead, and it's plus 1 point.
Well, Mort's has more points.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean they're ahead. Um,
at this
I mean, you
time.
can mill anything. Like, you could mill the journeyman just as easily as milling the province. Like, you could just salvage journeyman by journeyman if you wanted. Okay, I kind of see that. But now, I guess Mort's goal now is to be milling provinces because
Yeah, 18
now Mort
points is,
certainly can't afford double province anymore, but they might be able to afford mill province by province. So yeah, actually, I guess that was a pretty good play from Mort. Um,
and now 18 points. That's 3 provinces.
yeah, I think Iris should have been greening. I mean, Iris can certainly double now, and then double again probably. Um, and get some 2 points in the meantime. Like the province is probably going to go 4-4. Keep Conclave Salvager, probably just trash a copper. I would think. Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't trash a copper here. Well, I guess they're counting. Um, you have 17. You have 19 in hand right now. Yeah, you might as well play the Journeyman. I'm not sure what that top card is. But... Oh no, I guess it's not true that you might as well play the Journeyman. You get the Conclave money, but you won't need the extra money from Conclave now.
Wait, the top one is another salvager.
Yeah, it's a
Or,
Salvager, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you just double province here, I think. And then, yeah, so if Mort can't do anything other than province, like if Mort just single provinces, then Iris doubles and wins. Um,
What if
assuming Iris can
more?
get enough tomb points. Um, and Mort just, I guess Mort has a decent amount of money from the Conclaves. It's just hard to play them. You what? Conclave, Catapult. Catapult the Journeyman?
Jim Conclave salvager.
Yeah, and what? Salvage. Okay, so Mill Province, that's reasonable.
And now you can Conclave catapult.
Conclave, Catapult, and Trash.
Oh, no. Alright.
Doesn't play Catapult.
Iris looks to be in a winning position, but now Mort just gets a province, and that's a win. So
Well, can Iris Province double Duchy? I mean, probably. Salvage a couple of golds?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think Iris can probably just Province double Duchy, which wins as long as you trash at least one card in the process. So, yeah, I mean, I think Mort was playing it the right way, but it wasn't enough to catch up, I don't think. Yeah, if you just play the Journeyman to draw everything. Yeah, just play the other Journeyman. And I mean, if Iris salvages 2 golds, they should have enough to afford province and 2 duchies.
or I mean, if you're confident in having money, you could also just salvage journeyman, and then you can also play
Oh
gold.
yeah, the double salvager on Journeyman here also probably wins. Like you definitely have enough money for it. Yeah, that wins. You're right. No need to mess around. Yeah, I mean this is an easy win.
Nice.
Yeah, Iris played very well there. I think. Did use Banquet effectively a couple of times, even though obviously they didn't want to go for the crazy like insane Banquet like tomb silly deck. Yeah, I mean, I think Iris just had like a nice build and correctly focused on the ghost towns, and Mort kind of ignored them until it was too late. Oh boy.
Ooh, Travelers.
Another crazy game. Um, we've got another recruiter game, and we've got Page. Well, actually, recruiter and Page are kind of redundant. Um, oh, there's also Way of the Otter, so you can dodge um, the silvers from Treasure Hunter if you don't want them. Um,
Nice.
not sure whether or not you want them.
Yeah, I've got Native Village and Conclave.
I mean, for villages, we also have recruiter and
Yeah,
champion. Like,
actions everywhere.
yeah. So it looks like
Groundskeeper.
okay. So once again, there's a standard looking deck, which is you use recruiter to get your villagers, and then you rush your travelers to. Oh man! No, wait, the groundskeeper as Way of the Otter, though. Holy. Okay, do you want to hear the madman idea that I have in mind?
Champion Groundskeeper Wave Daughter.
And transmute. Um,
Oh,
because transmute is the only way to gain more than one victory card a turn. Um,
oh my,
so
mad
I
lad.
mean, once you get champion down, you just can try and get a bunch of groundskeepers, and you can play them as otter, and that's really really strong draw. And then you can either just, but I mean, it's not quite as strong as just buying smithies. Is the thing. Um, like, yeah, you can draw with groundskeeper Way of the Otter like pretty powerfully. Um, but if you're only getting one province a turn, like were the groundskeepers really worth it beyond just getting smithies and trying to get there faster? Maybe, maybe not. But if you add transmute to the mix, now you can use the groundskeeper as otters and probably a couple smithies as well to draw your deck probably, and then use transmute to get a bunch of duchies, uh, and then get like a lot of groundskeeper points all at once. So I don't know if that's stupid or amazing. Um, but
A
it's,
classic Dominion.
um, yeah, that's honestly one of my biggest pitfalls as a player, as I have this tendency to go for the cool thing over the good thing. Uh, so I feel like, I mean, the other thing about that kind of deck is that you don't have to decide for a while. So like, if you're playing Transmute, I mean, I certainly don't think you get the potion like soon. In fact, maybe you just use the hero gain a treasure to gain a potion.
Actually, yeah, you don't need to waste a buy on it because you're
Yeah,
gonna have to gain a treasure, and you might as well use that to your
and
advantage.
I mean gaining relic would also not be bad. There is the thing, but like you could use that to gain the potion. Yeah, because like I'm not really concerned about like having a lot of economy in the early game. Like you want to hit recruiter once, you can like, I mean you can do that without any silvers if you open like gear page, um, or like maybe conclave. Although I'm not sure if you need conclave, but like yeah, gear looks pretty good because gear is just going to be a lab once you get champion down. So you try and spike recruiter, and then you don't really care about hitting 5 much because I guess you can do like silliness with scholar and conclave, but that doesn't seem worth it. Um, so yeah, then you don't have to like add a lot of treasures. You can just get smithies, um, and do like, yeah, you probably want a couple of pages. Yeah, maybe you do take the silvers from Treasure Hunter if only because you can feed them to Recruiter. And then you add some smithies. And then once you get to Champion, then you make the call about, because the thing is, even despite the transmute shenanigans, you still can only add one groundskeeper a turn. Um, oh yeah, and the other thing about transmute actually is that once you have champion down, like it's also just a lab because every card is a lab. So worst case, your transmute is a lab that turns your treasures into more labs. Worst case. Um, and best case, it turns your transmutes into like duchies and a like ton of points. So yeah, it looks pretty useful here. But getting to yeah, and I think you can get to champion very fast because you use recruiter, you just play all your cards as otters, or like play you can draw without having to worry about drawing your travelers dead. Um, so yeah, and then once you get to champion, yeah, I think for sure you would. Yeah, I do kind of like that idea of using hero to gain potion. I mean, I guess the only downside there is that you do have to waste one turn buying a transmute. Um,
But after that, you can gain the
yeah,
transmute.
after that they can like replicate. And I guess if you really wanted to go hard into it, you could keep a treasure hunter for the purposes of gaining silvers to turn to transmutes, but I don't think you need to do that. I think recruiter isn't that great at getting rid of coppers anyway. So I'd rather just use recruiter to get rid of the estates and then use the transmute to deal with the coppers. Man, that's such a so okay, back to the game. What are people doing? Um somebody bought a wedding. People are buying more treasures than I think you really need here. Um let's see, they're both on the warrior. I feel like this is a board where you might get a second page, so getting second page is usually not as important as getting second peasant on peasant boards. Like on peasant boards, you certainly buy two peasants almost always.
Yeah,
On page boards,
because
you don't really need to, but
keeping another disciple is really good.
yeah, on the page boards, like it really depends on what the board is, which other card in the page line you want. Um, so I mean, usually it's hero. Sometimes it's warrior if there isn't a lot of other draw, but I mean, there's plenty of draw here, so you don't have to worry about keeping warrior. Keeping treasure hunter just seems worse than keeping hero, so you probably would want to get a second page and leave it as a hero. Um, to add a relic, add some like other things that are food for transmute or whatever. Um, although I mean the potion can also be transmute food, so maybe you don't need a second page. Um, okay, Mort's about to get a hero into a clean shuffle. That's nice. Um, they have a lot of gears. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised by the like gear is a good
Oh,
card, but
there's only 4 of them left.
yeah, I would have rather. And also, Wishbone doesn't have a recruiter yet. That surprised me because the recruiter just helps you get your. It lets you draw without worrying about drawing your traveler dead, which is like would be devastating to draw your traveler dead. Um, well, I guess unless you're drawing it with gear, then it's not that bad. Mort takes the scholar. I don't really like scholar because yeah, because once you have champion down, everything is a lab, and scholar doesn't like hand size increasers.
Yeah, it likes decreasers like artificer.
Yeah. Or even like Conclave with Scholar is like a reasonably decent combo, but there's just so many better things going on here. Um, like yeah, I mean Conclave is basically a silver that you can play before you play Scholar, but like there's just so much better draw cards. Like there's Smithy, and literally every card is a draw card anyway. Um, that you do not need the Scholar, I don't think. And like the Scholar might have been good as an early buy to try and see your Traveler sooner, but like it's too late for that. You already have I mean, Mort already has got the hero who's going to get the champion, possibly see it next turn. Um, yeah, I imagine you play. So, I mean, I think this is. I think at this point I would have taken the potion gain there. Like, you give up one turn of having to buy a transmute instead of another good card. And in return, you get a bunch of labs and the potential for even without Groundskeeper, transmute is the only way to duchy dance. Well, like transmute gives you the ability to gain a duchy and something else in the same turn, which
Yeah,
is
I don't know if the players noticed that.
maybe not. Maybe they just said, "Oh, it's transmute. It sucks. Don't buy it." Which is, I mean, that's a pretty good heuristic. Like,
usually it does, but
well, yeah, I mean, it's a heuristic, so it's not always going to be right, and you still should think about it. But like, it's not a horrible rule to play by. But yeah, given that it's like it's going to help you duchy dance on an otherwise single game board, I think it is going to be valuable. And yeah, I mean the fact that it's like labs. Okay, so Mort has had great draws, traveler wise. Gets the champion in play on turn 10, and now okay, the scholar actually doesn't look that bad here. You play conclave, you play scholar. Um, you see some of the other stuff, which is I guess not that much. So now what is Mort just gonna like start provincing?
yep.
I think so, yeah. Um, yeah, so that's the only thing. That's the only reason that the transmute might not be good is if you're by buying the transmute, you're actually giving up the ability to buy a province. Um, and then like you actually will fall behind if you do that. Mort just looks way ahead though. Um, honestly, yeah. I mean, you can just kill a cop. Yeah, I think Mort actually is just gonna like province every turn from now on. But um,
Yeah, there's another province in hand.
yeah, and
So,
the gears do help your reliability.
plus having champion down, so
Yeah, so maybe my assumption that you would have time to pick up the transmute is actually a flawed one.
it's like now you have champion down, you can just province.
Yeah, and Iris doesn't even have a champion yet. So yeah, this looks just like a win for Mort probably, but if the two players had been more on pace with each other, then you would have to worry about duchy dancing. And then that's when the transmute would come in more handy. Um, is if you were using it to duchy dance. Uh, so yeah, I mean I think what I would have done differently from these guys is I would not have gotten so many treasures. Well, I guess they got them from mostly from the treasure hunters, but I would have just played the treasure hunter as an honor. Um,
Yeah, has I don't think anyone has used the way on this board.
um, yeah, no, I'm searching the log. Yeah, neither of them has used the way of the honor at all. Which is weird because it's a really good one with recruiter and champion. Oh, so Mort didn't make it to province this time. So here is where you by wedding.
Either buy wedding or just set gold aside, but probably wedding because
I mean, this is where ideally I would have liked to see the potion. Well, I don't know actually because gaining potion over gold means you're going for kind of the longer game. Uh, because it means you're not going to be able to province immediately as much. Like seeing that potion where you wish it was a gold would kind of hurt. Um,
oh, there's a smithy. So just for more draw.
Yeah, actually, Smithy was probably better than Wedding there. In this hand, I would imagine you play this. You play the Scholars Wear the Otter here, right? As Mort.
Yeah,
But
you just draw any, and that's a province.
draw, yeah, anything that gives you money, or anything
Or
that
even
you draw on.
if you draw anything, since you have champion in play.
Yeah, I mean, are they just like forgetting about the way completely or something?
Maybe. I mean, no one has used it at all.
Why would you do that? Yeah, now he's unlikely. Well, he's got the Smithy there actually. So he's not that unlikely to make it to, but it still just seems like less, like that's more sloppy.
Yeah, you like.
I guess it's fine. You get to set a bunch of good stuff aside. I mean, Mort's totally won anyway. Um, oh yeah, Iris has like a nightmare hand right here.
Oh,
That's horrible.
and
The gear self-sabotage.
Iris doesn't even have champion in play.
Well, yeah, and yeah, that this is just a um, yeah, like I
And
guess
doesn't have a recruiter, so
they managed to draw into province, but like that's not going to change it. Like Mort is going to province here, and then province next turn, and Iris is not going to be able to come back from that. Like almost certainly. Play the recruiter. I guess you don't really need to lose the estate there. I would probably just lose a copper. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Like you're just Mort's just gonna win.
the poor way just sitting there unused.
Yeah, it literally makes anything a lab. Okay, well, congratulations, Iris. You finally found your champion. You can use it for one turn. You can't even buy a province this turn. How sad. Yeah, Mort did a way, way better job of traveler management. I kind of want to see why that is.
Recruiter?
Did Iris? Yeah, I mean, I think the recruiter was big because you can draw
Oh!
aggressively.
Oh my god. Iris found the way.
I found it. Iris knows the way. But it won't save them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the recruiter. I think you're right. I don't understand why you would like ever skip recruiter without a really, really good reason, and this board does not provide a really, really good reason. Yeah, and in retrospect, by the way, I'm thinking that Groundskeeper would be too slow. Although maybe it wouldn't be too slow, but you wouldn't be for a mega turn with Groundskeeper and Transmute. You'd be grabbing like a single Groundskeeper and using it to try and like gain an edge in Dutchy Dancing, probably. Yeah, I do have an overbuilding problem sometimes, so maybe getting a Groundskeeper would have been overbuilding, but it does depend on like what your opportunity cost is, what L2 done on that turn. Oh boy. This board is just one mess after another. Holy. Like, we got Leprechaun with Bandit Fort. We've got Gatekeeper versus Tournament. We've got, like, no villages? Except for Steed? This is just, oh my gosh. Oh, Stables and Caravan for a lot of non-terminal draw, and Secret Passage Vagrant is also a combo. There's like no, there's no thinning. It's just a horrible board. Oh, and Alchemist for non-terminal draw too. We have four non-terminal draw cards. No villages. And then a whole lot of like Leprechaun can't possibly be worth it. It's just -2 points every time you play it, and it has to be the last card you play in turn. Like, I think this is a board where you go for Gatekeeper.
What?
Well, because it screws over the prizes.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I guess. But, like, how are you, yeah, oh, and the other thing is Gatekeeper is money that isn't -points from Bandit Fort. So, like, I don't know if that in itself would be a reason to go for Gatekeeper, but, like,
yeah. I mean, Gatekeeper, Fisherman Tournament, and
yeah,
Poacher.
yeah, I mean, I want to, yeah, I guess in terms of draw, I think I would pick Stables over Alchemist. Um, just because the potion is going to be annoying. Like, you can't get rid of your starting coppers, so Stables is probably going to have something to discard. Um, and it helps you, like, find your action cards more, and it doesn't require getting the potion in the first place. So I think I would go with Stables for draw, and then, yeah, definitely some tournaments. Secret Passage and Vagrant are nice things to pick up, but, like, if I can, I'd rather just pick up Fisherman with, like, small hands. Um, rather than Vagrant, depending on where I'm obviously not going to. I'm going to try not to buy like treasures at all, just because they're -points and they like slow down your already slow ability to like get deck control. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I want to build something that plays a gatekeeper every turn, so that tournament is just completely neutered. Um, but I'm not sure if you'll get there in time. I think I would rather just cross my fingers that I will have the gatekeeper down when my opponent connects tournament with province. I mean, okay, I hate tournament. Um, I had it on 50% for a while, and then I had a league match like last week where it was just like Princess was the only plus buy, and it was just
Oh,
the first person to get to tournament was just going to win, and I was second player, and I just did not have a shot. So I was just like, okay, you know what? We're putting tournament on the ban list.
banned.
Yeah. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Did, and it didn't, like, it didn't live up.
Opens Gatekeeper.
So, yeah, I guess the Gatekeeper Open isn't awful, because it is,
Oh,
like, I think Stables Open is probably smarter, but, I mean, you do want to get the Gatekeeper before too long, because it, like, not only does it give you the money, but it gives you the money in the next turn, so it's more, you're more likely to have, like, a bad turn the turn you play Gatekeeper, and then a great turn the next turn, which is what you want with Tournament. Um, I'd rather hit like 4 and then hit 8 than hit like 6 twice, of course. Um, and with Borrow, you actually only have to hit 7. Uh, so getting the early Gatekeeper, I do think is fine. I might take one Stables before it, but I do think the early Gatekeeper is okay. So let's see. Mort took the Gatekeeper and had to get a Vagrant as a result of the Borrow. Iris goes Tournament Silver? I wouldn't take the Silver. I'd rather borrow for something. Like, maybe double Tournament. Um, or maybe like Tournament Caravan or something. Yeah, or maybe just borrow for Stables on the first turn. Like, maybe that is just the best.
alright. So
Yeah, maybe borrow for Stables Vagrant. Although, yeah, I guess double Tournament is like a reasonable opening. Or Tournament Caravan is probably also reasonable. Secret Passage is also good for spiking, because if you play Secret Passage in a sad hand, you can save a good card for next turn. If you play it in a good hand, you can save a bad card. Um, but I don't think you open Secret Passage, because it's just pretty underwhelming in general. So I think maybe, not sure whether I'd do Stables Vagrant or Double Tournament. Or maybe even like Tournament Poacher, just to kind of cover my bases. And I guess Double Tournament is better than tournament poacher because
Yep, there's the stables for Mort.
yeah. So actually, the ordering. Okay, this actually Mort I guess could hit province on
8.
turn 5, which would
Yep.
be an insane high roll, and would probably make me want to rage quit as Iris.
Oh.
Um,
Oh. So you're saying.
do it. Oh, he did it. He already has it. Um, he already could borrow for province. Oh man.
So as you were saying.
Yeah. Pretty fun and balanced card.
All right.
Yeah, finds to a status now borrow for province. Like now, on the one hand, he doesn't have a tournament yet, but on the other hand, that's easy to fix, and it will also screw over Iris's tournaments.
Yeah,
Um,
because no draw, no
yeah,
coin.
Iris is lucky to have the tournaments now because it means that they will have them when Mort won't have a chance of drawing the province. So at the very least, Iris's tournaments will be useful right now. Um, yeah, definitely the right play. So now Mort just starts buying provinces madly.
All right, so another stables. Get rid of the one in exile.
Yeah, so Iris should hopefully hit. Yeah, I agree taking the stables to discard the other exiled stables. Iris probably wants a gatekeeper now. Yeah, because once. Oh, but Iris can't even take the gatekeeper, it'll get exiled. I mean, whatever they take is going to get exiled, but. Do you really want to add 2 gatekeepers at once? Maybe not. I mean, it's a duration, so, like. If you are drawing, they won't collide. And Iris does have better draw than Mort. So, I mean. I guess Mort borrows for tournament here because you need tournaments that badly. Oh, not gonna. Oh, forgot to play treasures first. Whoops.
Again.
Borrow for tournament. Yeah. Okay. Do you take gatekeeper anyway? I think you do because you really want to try and exile the prize. Like that's just so huge. If you and you really want to get the gatekeepers ASAP. I mean, I guess buying gatekeeper now doesn't really allow you to get a gatekeeper sooner. It just allows you to get 2 the next time you get one. So really, Iris should get a gatekeeper on the next turn, I guess.
And now Mort has a pretty good chance of getting tournament with province.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, Iris can just take province and then probably should, I guess. Yeah, so now thanks to like random. Ooh, disgusting. Like I said, tournament, a fun and balanced card. And Iris might connect here. Oh, nope. That's a rip.
fun and balanced.
Yeah. Um, take the vagrant because, like, why not? But like, Mark can't do anything here either.
uh,
Do
it's so fun and extremely well
I don't think you
balanced.
borrow for a tournament here. I think you would just buy vagrant because you want to get through your deck faster. And vagrant, like, I mean, it's kind of nice with tournament because you're looking to find
Oh,
provinces. Who's borrowing for tournament? That's not crazy. Or maybe you borrow for secret passage. I think I would
alright.
prefer secret passage over caravan. Um, also that
So Iris
that's
Iris can connect.
oh yeah,
A fun and balanced card.
yeah. Okay, so you take.
Alright, Steed.
I'm not sure. Um,
Steed or followers?
Yeah, steed or followers definitely. The question is how useful is the extra action from steed going to be? I don't think it's going to be great, so I think actually you probably take followers. Yeah, because the curses just hurt so much, and the
I mean, vagrants can sort of.
and what can take another province here, right? Yeah, I mean vagrants can mitigate the curses, but like they can mitigate the estates too. So it's still like, oh, just take state. I would have probably taken another province there.
Yeah, like
Honestly,
that.
this is about to be a very sad stables. Oh my gosh. Okay, at least it can draw, but they're yeah. This is just this is reminding me why I don't like tournament. Do you take another tournament here? Honestly, the secret passage is looking pretty nice. Yeah, bar for stable is also okay, I guess. The secret passage is looking pretty nice. Because you can save a province for later if you.
Okay, but
Aha!
Iris should.
The bamboozle. Yeah, maybe you don't discard the province here. Um. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe you do it just to deny Steed. Do you want to deny the Steed here? Is the question. Like, I guess it's a matter of who do you think is more likely to connect next. I think it's Mort is more likely to connect next because Iris just found their only tournament for this shuffle. So it's going to be at least a few more. Like, Iris is probably not going to connect next turn and might the turn after, but it's unlikely. Oh, they're going for it.
Alright.
I assume you would take Steed. I don't think you take Duchy here.
It's pretty early for that.
Yeah. They might do it on the reasoning like it's the only thing that does anything, but I'm not sure that taking Duchy is an overall positive for you. I mean, it used to be.
Or you just like take diadem and.
Oh, Princess Denial. Okay, I guess that's fine.
Oh, nice followers.
Because if you're already ahead as Iris is, the princess is a way that Mort might be able to catch up. So denying it is fine. Province? I think. Iris is going to win this, I mean, for sure. Yeah, I think you should have province there, given the gatekeeper attack.
Yeah, because now the stables is in exile.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think Mort played better.
Yeah, Mort just got screwed by luck.
Yeah, Mort was definitely right, like smart to take the gatekeeper. I think it was a little too early, but like I think he should have gotten one stable gatekeeper.
Yeah, and gotten.
It was definitely a good card to go for, and he got rewarded by getting province on like turn 5, and then
But then
just didn't draw the cards together.
Ow. So Mort could finish off the stables, which leaves one
Stranding
in exile.
his last tables. That's a smart play.
Oh, here's another collision.
Yeah, this has got to be Steed, right? I mean, what else are you going to take? Yeah, take the Steed. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Steed will be helpful with playing followers and then continuing to draw. Like so. Yeah, I mean, given the followers, like, Mort is going to have to get 5 provinces in order to win this, and like, there's just no way he's going to be able to. This is another province. This is a province for sure, right? Yeah. I mean, Iris just moves through their deck consistently enough. Oh, Mort got it. It's too late. What do you even take? I mean, you certainly don't take bag of... What? Bag of garbage? I mean, okay. Bag of gold...
Bag of negative points.
But when it's bag of -2 VP, I'm not sure about that.
You're literally cursing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like, bag of gold is like borderline decent sometimes as like a consolation prize, but when it's -2 points, like, I just think it's not even worth it.
It's counterproductive.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, like, diadem is basically just a silver, so at least it's not minus points. But like, but all of at that point, like, you're just scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's why tournament is awful.
Tournament is a fair and balanced card.
So Iris can grab some duchies here. You can deny the diadem as if there's like a compelling reason to do so. Oh yeah, my client sometimes has this bug where it just won't let me right click on tournament and just show me what prizes are left. It's kind of weird. Like, and if I click on the prizes, it like won't show me what prizes are left. I mean, I know it's just diadem, but I was just trying to click on it and it wouldn't let me. Okay, yeah, it takes the duchy. That's fine, I think. Take another duchy here. I don't know. I mean, like, stuffing duchies in your deck just kind of give you a lose condition, which is just getting your deck so full of green you can't do anything. But like, on the other hand, you can buy a lot of vagrants if you like have dud turns. And like, if you just get so far ahead that like Mort can't come back. Yeah, I kind of agree with not taking the other duchy, I guess. Something caravan maybe. Secret passage might not be horrible. I mean, whatever it is, you're gonna have to get 2 of it because you'll have to get another one when the gatekeeper borrows for gold. Just to exile it, -2 points. Okay, that looks awful.
Do they know of Bandit Fort?
Yeah, you are crippling your next turn by taking the minus card token to give yourself -2 points, and then maybe in the future be able to get an extra gold if you are willing to take 2 more minus points. That looks like a lose condition to me, and this is a sad stables.
I mean, as Mort, this kind of just feels like you're resigned.
I mean, maybe. I mean, honestly, Iris just did a like pretty big misplay, so I might play on his Mort, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah, like this match has actually been pretty long relative to others.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, more stable said. That was also. Oh, yeah. Okay.
There it is.
That's fair.
All right.
That
yeah. No, tournament is just.
The followers made him discard the copper and then dudded with stables as a result of it. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Hey, if you're watching this Mort and or Iris, put tournament on your ban list. I can see your ban list. You're not using that space. Okay. Well, that's
nice commentary.
Yeah. Thank you for commentating with me. Hopefully now I can start like. I didn't want my very first commentating thing to be like an upper level match when I've like never done it before. So like now I kind of know what the deal is. Hopefully I can start like commentating more matches. So that's cool. Thank you. It was fun. It was kind of a long match, but it was interesting. There were a lot of interesting boards. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there's plenty of debates to be had in kingdom
They
analysis.
can see our chat here, but yes, you are welcome. I'll get this video up pretty soon. And okay,
Alright,
guess that's
see ya.
see you later.